but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
What a f***ing pussy. For more on this story, check this week's Onion Review.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live, the live Sunday edition of the program. You can dial in toll-free and join us here. The number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. And you can join us there. You'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. We got a lot to talk about tonight here, including how to draft dodge. That's what Melanie is going to be telling us about this evening. Fun. Plus, Richie, you've got some tips on breaking bad habits.
From FEE.
You know, it's the Foundation for Economic Education. They are going to go into some tips. It's a new year. Some people want to change their bad habits, so good time to talk about that. But we're actually going to start tonight with... I don't want to say this is good news, but it is news.
It's breaking news.
And it could have been worse news. So from that perspective, given that it's not as bad as it could have been, it's kind of good. I'm talking about the Silk Road admin Inigo.
Okay.
Most of the conversation about the Silk Road surrounds Ross Ulbricht, the man who was sentenced to 2 life sentences.
Ridiculous.
Plus 40 years in federal prison for running a website, for running the Silk Road, the very first ever underground drug marketplace that I think premiered back in 2011. It really kind of put Bitcoin on the map. I mean, there's a strong argument that if Satoshi Nakamoto is the most important person to Bitcoin, that Ross Ulbricht is the second most important person.
Sure. Because at the time, what else were you going to spend your Bitcoin on?
Besides a couple pizzas, yeah.
Right.
The Silk Road became noteworthy. It became infamous, and it got a lot of press coverage, and justifiably so. I mean, it was a real advancement in technology that allowed essentially an open free marketplace for anybody anywhere in the world to take part in, to sell almost anything. Now, there were a couple of categories that the Silk Road didn't allow. One of them was poison. The other was child pornography. I believe those were... And
they also didn't allow guns.
Well, that's true. There was a site that claimed to be related to the Silk Road that started and ended relatively quickly called The Armory, where it was specifically about selling weapons. But yes, you're correct. On the Silk Road, there was no guns allowed. And I think they also didn't allow... Did they allow hacking tools on the Silk Road? I honestly don't remember.
I don't know. My friends only bought drugs.
Yeah. That's what it was known for. That was the biggest category. There's no doubt about it. And we've followed the Silk Road story here on Free Talk Live for, almost the last decade now at this point.
Yeah.
We followed it when Ross Ulbricht was arrested in 2013. So the site had only been around for a couple of years. And they found him, and they did some digging. They... if you read the case, it's an interesting case. It's an outrageous case, the way they treated him and the way the judge behaved. And I don't want to get too deep into what happened to Ross Ulbricht, but it was a travesty, and it was horrifying what they did to this man for just simply programming a website. That's
Especially
what he did.
in the sentencing.
Well, right, the sentencing. Well, also, they barely let him defend himself in the trial. There was all kinds of things that were just really, there's tremendous corruption. Like there were 2 cops, one with the Secret Service, another with the DEA, I believe it was, who were caught stealing money from the Silk Road. They pled guilty. They are in prison now for that. But yet the fact that those cops were, and the evidence that they provided was questionable, was not allowed to be brought up during the trial. So, there was just so much. You can go to freeross.org. There's a documentary that they've put together. There's a video. There's an audio form. There's like a written version of it. So whatever you prefer to consume, whether it's watching something or listening or whatever, there's a version of all this information that can really go over a lot of details about what happened with the federal investigation and how it was botched up and why they, are awful. And
which more people probably should get into if they want to see, the Free Ross movement expand, because I don't think in the general populace the Free Ross movement has the has a victory in the court of public opinion.
People don't even know who he is.
They don't know who he is, and if they do know, he's the murder for hire guy.
Even though they never charged him with that.
Right. Like the state definitely won in the court of public opinion on what exactly Ross Ulbricht did.
Right, and that's another thing they did, as you referenced. They dragged his name through the mud, suggesting that he had hired somebody to kill a man, and that never happened. At least it never was brought as far as a criminal charge against him.
No charges, no evidence.
So
there's no evidence of it. I mean, technically we don't know it never happened, but
it goes against who he is as a person.
I doubt it. And I was just saying it sounded to me like you were implying that he might have done it.
No, I'm not implying that.
Yeah,
the state implied that.
There was no evidence of that.
Yeah, the state implied that he might have done that, but they never provided any evidence and never brought any charges in that case. So Ross was sentenced to 2 life sentences plus 40 years. The judge wanted to send a message to all the other people out there.
Which he kind of did, right? Because
the judge was a female, Catherine Forrest, I believe.
Which she kind of did, which was what kind of happened. Because no one's... Like, I'm sure there's black market sites that still exist.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not nearly as popular or well-known or easily accessible as the Silk Road
I disagree.
You disagree?
There's more of them.
Okay.
There's more now than there's ever been.
As popular?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably mostly on the dark web, though, right?
Well, Silk
That's what
Road
we're
was
talking
also
about.
on the dark web.
That's exactly what we're talking about here. Silk Road was a dark web website.
Okay, I might be confused with dark web because I was able to look at it while it was still up, and I absolutely don't know how to do any of that.
Well, either you're
been on the actual site.
Either you're misremembering and you did look at it through a Tor browser, or you were looking at some sort of a website that might have been a proxy for Tor that allowed you to see it.
Okay.
Did you recall creating an account and logging into it to browse around? Yeah, okay, I don't know. It's been so many years, I don't really remember. But
I know at that point I didn't even know what a Tor browser was. So.
Yeah, you couldn't get on the Silk Road without a Tor browser. There are some websites that will allow you, as I understand it, to surf Tor without actually being on Tor, I think. I've never really looked into those sites, so maybe that's what you did. But either way, he was sentenced to 2 life sentences plus 40 years for running a website. He didn't, he sold some mushrooms early on, but that wasn't the reason why they sentenced him like that. Because that's
not the double life sentence plus 40 years.
There were heroin dealers who were also caught up in this sting operation because eventually the federal government took over. They had an administrative account that they had managed to. They basically arrested the guy behind one of the admin accounts and then put their own guy into the admin, so they got the back end of the site. They were upset at Ross because he made this possible. He made it possible to avoid black market transactions in the traditional way of, you want to buy some drugs? Well, you got to meet this guy in the parking lot, and he's going to be in his car and make sure, you don't get stabbed, and, all the other things that can go wrong in a drug deal gone bad, or you get fake drugs or whatever. Sure. And he brought a level of competition to the drug marketplace that had never existed before, where dealers had ratings, like on eBay. So even though the dealer was anonymous, you didn't know who they were. They still had a username that they selected for themselves, and then that username would acquire feedback and ratings.
And like you said, aside from the early mushroom sales, he just he facilitated the sale. He didn't actually participate in the sale.
Well, I don't think it's accurate to say that he was not participating in.
Well, he was selling mushrooms. I mean, he was facilitating all the other sales on the site.
The website facilitated the sales.
Right, but I would still say he was a drug
a kingpin.
He was a drug dealer, however you want to, classify that. He ran the website. Well, assuming this is true, which I think it.
He admitted to creating a website, which was the dumbest thing I think they could have done. But in their opening statement, they admitted to him creating the website.
Well, I can't say if that was a bad move or not because I haven't seen the case file.
Well, he got found guilty, so it didn't help them.
There was no reason to
also doesn't follow, but. I mean,
well, if you're going to a criminal defense, and you went to law school, if you're going to be somebody's criminal defense attorney, do you really want to go in your opening statement and admit that your client did the things that he was accused of doing? And then your only defense at that point?
Be.
Okay.
Sometimes that's what you got.
To me, that's an attorney who's not even trying. I mean, like, if I had an attorney and they were like, well, we're just going to go ahead and admit to count 1, 2, 3 and 4.
Well, no,
it sounds like the public defender's
office.
That's
not.
Except he wasn't.
What he necessarily did
either.
Just because you did a thing doesn't mean you committed the crime they're charging you with.
but they admitted to doing the crimes they charged him with right in the opening statement, and then basically tried to cast doubt that he had done it the whole time. Well, he did make the website, he did run the website, but he didn't do it the whole time. 855-450-FREE. We got more coming up here on what happened and what's been happening.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Balance of nature, changing the world one life at a time.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. In my lab, I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. As a scientist, I know that balance of nature works.
Experience the balance of nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. They're over at discord.lrn.fm. We're talking about the Silk Road And, any discussion of the Silk Road always has to involve some level of recap to bring our listeners up to speed on what it is and what it was and why it was important. But the latest news is actually, it's a little old, but I just happened to find out about it last night because I have on my calendar like a repeating event for every 6 months.
Oh, okay.
Just to check in and see what is going on with Andrew Michael Jones. Not Ross Ulbricht. He's been in prison since 2013. He's on a double life sentence plus 40 years for running the Silk Road, the underground drug market site. But what about his associates? What about the administrators who also were identified? One reason they were identified easily was because Ross had their photos, their ID photos of their government IDs on his laptop that the police confiscated when they arrested him, unencrypted. So the police were able to go in and identify who all of the administrators were.
Because they caught him with the laptop open.
Correct.
So it has
they caught him on the laptop in the San Francisco library. So they were easily able to identify. Otherwise, they may not have been able to catch all of the administrators, but they got him. And so one of them was Andrew Michael Jones. We'll tell you a little bit more about that coming up here. Your calls and thoughts are certainly welcome. And I want to also say thanks to local.bitcoin.com, a longtime sponsor here at Free Talk Live. You're interested in cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, go to bitcoin.com, and they will help you get the basics, get the basic understanding of what Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is. And they're big fans of Bitcoin Cash over there as well. In fact, they even have a website to allow you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash globally with no identification requirements to sign up for the site. Go to local.bitcoin.com and you can do that there. Dozens of payment methods. It's a global trading platform for Bitcoin Cash. It's local.bitcoin.com. We're going to go to the phones first here and talk to Dylan. He's calling from New Hampshire, listening to WNTK in the Upper Valley. Go ahead, Dylan. Dylan in New Hampshire. Are you there? Dylan going once. Dylan going twice. We may be having some technical difficulties. We'll put Dylan back on hold, and perhaps our board operator can check in with him on that call. So we'll check back with Dylan in a moment. So I was discussing Silk Road, underground drug marketplace, the very first one on the internet, on Tor. The Onion router is what that stands for. You can go
dark web.
The dark web. That's what the media likes to call it because it's scary. And the reality
was... It's not that scary. So Facebook is on the dark web at one point in time.
They do have a Tor...
yeah.
No, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so the dark web is a place that's, worthy of discussion. It's an interesting thing. It allows some level of anonymity, but they still managed to find the Silk Road.
Sure.
And we never really found out how they did that. That was never really clear in the trial, and they never got to call the witness that would have been able to maybe shed some light on that. So we still don't know. That's still a mystery. We're never going to find that one out.
Find out which administrator doesn't spend a lot of time in prison.
Well, that's the thing. The other administrators aren't spending a lot of time in prison.
Okay.
And it's not just Andrew Michael Jones. It's also, I think, Gary Davis, who was known as Libertas, one of the other admins.
Okay.
So the admins of the site, Dread Pirate Roberts was the head of the site, and Inigo and Libertas were two of the others. So Inigo is another character name from The Princess Bride,
right,
as is Dread Pirate Roberts, and so that was sort of the theme behind the site. And so one of them, Inigo, was also known as Andrew Michael Jones. This is his real name. He lived in Virginia. And the reason why I've been following his case over these years is because I met the guy.
Nice.
And so did a lot of other people that lived in Keene, New Hampshire, which is where we do this show from. This guy showed up at Social Sunday, which is the event that you and I just left.
Yep.
So every week we have a Libertarian gathering, and Richie, you come down before the show.
I come from Manchester.
Come out from Manchester. Yep. But it's mostly people from Keene. There was another guy from Manchester that came out today, Steve. But this guy showed up. I didn't know who he was. He's just one of the myriad of people who came through the area to kind of check out New Hampshire and, see what it was like. He knew that Social Sundays exist. It's a publicly advertised event. This was way back when we were at a bar that's now closed. So, This is years and years. This is probably like 2012 would be my guess, because the site was still up. It was online. The Silk Road was there. He didn't come in and promote the Silk Road or anything like that. So there was no way to know that he was this guy.
Yeah, probably smart on his part to not promote it in
right.
public as well.
Right. He was just another guy who came with his girlfriend to check out New Hampshire. And they had a good time. They seemed to enjoy themselves, and then they left. And then years later, I got a message from his girlfriend, an encrypted message from his girlfriend. And that's when I learned that the nice couple that we'd met at Social Sundays, he was Inigo. He was one of the administrators on the Silk Road.
Nice.
So unlike Ross Ulbricht, now, credit to Ross, he has since joined the Free State Project since he found out about it, and he's a big libertarian and a big fan of freedom and things like that. So Ross is technically a member of this migration movement. But Andrew Michael Jones was already in the Free State Project when he was running the Silk Road. So the New Hampshire Freedom Migration actually has amongst its ranks one of the members, one of the administrators of the Silk Road, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
So that's kind of why I've been following his case. I wrote about it years ago at freekeen.com, just kind of announcing that, hey, look, one of these guys is a Free Stater. Now, I'm sure there's some people who don't like the fact that that he's a Free Stater, but
other Free Staters probably.
I'm pretty. I think it's pretty cool.
Yes, we're trying to have a socially acceptable libertarian anarchist movement.
So I think that's pretty cool.
I like the max freedom aspect of it.
He was found guilty or pled guilty. Okay, so no trial for this guy. He pled guilty. 6 counts: conspiracy to distribute narcotics, conspiracy to commit an aid and abet computer hacking, conspiracy to traffic in fraudulent identification documents, conspiracy to commit money laundering, aiding, abetting, or inducing the straw purchase of a firearm, and felon in possession of a firearm. Charged with 6 counts, pled guilty to. He may have been charged with more than that, but he pled guilty to those 6. Do y'all want to take a guess at his sentence?
I kind of already looked over your shoulder, so I will not take a guess.
I don't know, 5 years?
Yeah, about 5 years. 66, looks like 66 months. Concurrent sentences. So, no big deal. Like 5 years for all of that?
Yeah, sure. 5 years for all of that, sure, but that's still like a long time.
It's a long time.
In the real world.
But had he been in pretrial confinement, and he wasn't, because his parents apparently put up their house, they mortgaged their house to pay the bail to keep him out. So I don't think he was in pretrial confinement. But had he been in pretrial confinement, he was sentenced in 2019. This was from May of last year.
Okay.
He probably would have been picked up in 2013, 2014. So he could have gotten time served at that point. Look, I'm not saying 5 years is a good thing, but it ain't 2 life sentences plus 40 years.
Yeah.
Plus, there's actually a note from the court, from the judge in here about the conditions in which he's supposed to be kept. I'll share that with you coming up here in moments. Because remember, Ross Ulbricht has been shuttled about from prison to prison. They move him at a whim.
After hearing Ross Ulbricht's sentence, if I was him, I probably would have jumped bail at that point. Just
if you were Ross?
No.
If you were Andrew Michael Jones. 855-450-FREE. That's the toll-free number. You can bring up whatever's on your mind. Take control of the airwaves here. This is Free Talk Live.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge Wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing. To be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you may join us right here. Live Sunday edition. Toll-free number for you is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. You can call in there, and you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. Tonight, it's Ian.
Richie Rich.
And Melanie.
The next generation of wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat currencies like the dollar in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new Divvy wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at divvyproject.org. That's divvyproject.org. As we go back to your calls and thoughts, and then I'll read from the sentencing statement here, the 8-page long sentencing document from the court, federal court, for Andrew Michael Jones. Who is that? In case you're just tuning in, he's one of the administrators, one of the head bosses over at the Silk Road. Now, he wasn't Ross Ulbricht, but he was right underneath Ross.
An underboss.
Yeah. He was the, second in command, basically, was Inigo. And so we'll tell you a little bit more about how drastically different of a sentence Inigo, or Andrew Michael Jones, received compared to Ross Ulbricht. But first, we go to your calls and thoughts. We've got Graham in Pennsylvania listening online. Go ahead, Graham.
Yeah, about the guy who founded the Silk Road.
Yes, sir.
And his sentence is what, 2 life sentences?
Plus 40 years. That's the sentence for the founder, for Ross Ulbricht.
Okay. Well, I can give you a couple counter examples. Sammy the Bull Gravano, the New York City Mafia guy who testified against John Gotti.
Mm-hmm.
Gravano killed more than a dozen people he admitted in court as part of his plea deal. he only got a few years in prison, and after he got out, he went back to prison for being involved in an ecstasy drug ring out in Arizona.
Wow.
And then the second counterpoint is that Al Capone, who was actually involved in probably God knows how many murders, only served 11 years in prison for tax evasion.
Well, yeah, so with Al Capone, it was because they couldn't bust him on the other stuff.
Yeah.
So that's not really a
But
equal
still,
comparison.
the other dude's a murderer and gets a few years in prison.
Right, but if you can't prove it, but if you can't prove it, he didn't do 11 years for murder. He did 11 years for tax evasion.
No. The other dude that he was
Sammy
talking
the
about,
Bull.
Gravano.
Yeah, he flipped. Ross didn't flip.
Well,
Ross couldn't flip.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. If you're the top guy, there's nobody to flip
That's what I'm
on.
saying. If you want to find out who flipped, see who's got the light sentence.
Yeah.
Not saying that it was Andrew by any means.
Well, that's the thing. The other people, as I understand it, were willing to testify against Ross.
Okay.
But they were never called to do that because there was no information that they could give them
that they didn't already have.
Yeah. So that was the only reason why, as I understand it, they were willing to testify is because, well, the only reason they got caught was because Ross got caught.
Okay.
And they already had their IDs, and that's how they were able to track him down. And it's like, well, they didn't know who Ross was, so they couldn't have said anything about Ross. Sorry, go ahead. What else did you want to share, Graham?
But the Gravano guy, he did a lot worse. He got caught, and then he got a lighter sentence.
Right.
While the guy, the Silk Road guy, who was just, accused or supposedly accused of being involved in hiring a hitman, I guess?
Yeah, barely. I mean, he was slandered with that, libeled with it, but ultimately never charged with it.
Accused, but not charged with
guy
no
who
evidence.
actually did do it got away with it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's federal court for you.
Because
Graham, thanks for
the
sharing.
guy who got away with it was willing to turn over and testify for the state, which Ross didn't have the opportunity to do, as you said.
Well, plus they wanted to send a message to everybody else who might run a similar website, which of course did absolutely nothing to dissuade people from running similar websites because multiple websites popped up as the Silk Road went down. And since then, there have been countless others that have come and gone in the years that have followed. Graham, anything else you want to share tonight?
No, that's it.
Thanks for sharing that. Great info, and I appreciate the addition to the show. The toll-free number, if you want to join us, is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. So here's the other thing. So in addition to being, pleading guilty, getting convicted of 6 different charges, I'll just
Mostly
recap
conspiracy.
here. Conspiracy, well, that's a lot of what Ross was facing as well. Conspiracy to distribute narcotics, conspiracy to commit aid and abet computer hacking, conspiracy to traffic in fraudulent identification documents. And this is because the site allowed for these things. So there was like hacking tools, there was fraud documents or whatever on the site. It didn't mean that he was committing fraud, but they allowed people to sell those things.
Fake IDs.
Conspiracy to commit money laundering, aiding, abetting, or introducing the straw purchase of a firearm, and felon in possession of a firearm.
That last one I'm a little confused with. Felon in possession, because he was
must have
already a
had
felon,
one.
or-
He must have had one. Maybe he was already a felon or something like that. And then when they arrested him, he might have had a gun. I don't know the details on that.
I don't know the guy either.
But 66 months was his sentence. He also was sentenced to 60 months on a different count, but they're concurrent sentences, so served at the same time. So he'll be in prison for another 5 years. Actually, Camel Toe in our chat room found the details on the Bureau of Prisons website, I believe, that he is to be released in 2023 at this point, so August 4th of 2023. But here's the other thing. So in addition to having a much lighter sentence for relatively similar charges for this guy, he was like basically the number 2 guy on the Silk Road, a fraction of a sentence of what Ross Ulbricht got. And I'm not saying he should have gotten more. I'm saying Ross Ulbricht should have gotten drastically
Much less. Yeah.
But here's the other thing. If you've paid attention to Ross Ulbricht's mom, Lynn Ulbricht, who's been traveling around, going to every conference she can, every Bitcoin conference, every Libertarian conference, and speaking about Ross and trying to raise attention and trying to get people to sign a petition to have Trump pardon him, basically, or commute his sentence. Yeah. She has talked about how they've moved him around. Like, oh, well, first he's in New York. Now he's in Colorado. Now he's moving to another prison. And, she actually sold her house down in Austin to move to New York so she could be closer to Ross, so she could go and visit him more regularly, right? Well, then she's got to move to Colorado. And now she's got to move to wherever it is they moved him. I don't know if it was Arizona. I don't know where he currently is at this point. You can go to freeross.org. I'm sure they've got his current address up there if you want to send him a letter. But in this sentencing guidelines for Andrew Michael Jones, quote, the court makes the following recommendations to the Bureau of Prisons. The court recommends that the defendant be designated to FCI Petersburg in Virginia. Where's he from?
Yeah.
Virginia. If possible. If not, the court recommends a facility as close to Virginia as possible to maintain his family ties.
Now, okay, so I'll take a step back for a minute. Is it possible that they're giving him that leniency because he pled guilty, whereas Ross went to trial and was found guilty?
Could be.
So they send a message to Ross Ulbricht. They give this guy the same thing, like, we can go to trial. If we do that, you're going to be shacked up.
The message is don't, take a plea. The message is take a plea.
Take a plea, yeah, don't fight it. And if you do take a plea, plead guilty on all 6 counts or whatever.
Which he probably should have done because his damn attorney just botched the case. And Melanie, you're saying you don't know, and there may have been a strategy here, but I'm telling you, it didn't seem like a strategy at the time. The attorney for Ross Ulbricht just gets up and in the opening statement admits to what his client did. And so, surprise, he gets found guilty.
Of course.
And then is sentenced to the maximum possible sentence because the judge wanted to send a message, while the number 2 guy gets like 5 years and gets a recommendation to have his prison as close to home as it possibly can be. Just amazing.
Do you know if Ross was offered a plea for a lesser time prior to the trial?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because they had all the evidence. If they have all the evidence, they can offer the plea or not.
Usually they offer a plea just because they don't want to do the work.
That's true.
In most cases.
But this, like you said, this was the message
This was a
being
big
sent.
case, yeah.
They may not have even offered it.
Anyway, I just wanted to share that for folks who may not have been aware that sentencing happened. It was just back in May of last year, and I've been checking in periodically just to see what's going on with the case. It sat with nothing happening for a long time, where there was like no documents being filed, because you can follow federal cases with the Pacer online system. And if you're going to do that, make sure you have the recap plugin for your browser, so anything you download from the federal site gets saved in a public forum, and that you don't have to keep paying for it because they charge you per page on the Pacer system. So there's your update on the Silk Road as the dark net continues with, I don't know, half a dozen at least active drug marketplace sites right now in existence. So they haven't stopped anything. And the peaceful Ross Ulbricht's just sitting in prison.
With more people listening to radio than visit Google, Facebook, or YouTube, from the very young to the very old, everyone listens to radio. Pillow companies, alarm, identity theft, nutrition, insurance, banking, automotive. The list goes on and on. Billion-dollar businesses. Why? The answer is radio. The media everyone tunes into. Find out how effective and affordable radio can be for your business. Contact 877-996-4327 or advertise at gcnlive.com.
When you have a pain in the neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have 2 convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes, see Sunny Bay's 4.5 to 5-star customer reviews on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Our made in the USA microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra large body wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it. Even while driving, Sunny Bay wraps will not burn and stay balanced to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to help treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part? Sunny Bay quality products start at under $20. Join thousands of happy customers and see why Sunny Bay products have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. It's easy. Click Amazon or Walmart and search today for Sunny Bay.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
If you're looking for work, you know what I mean by
elevator speech. It's the short version, saying just enough to make the listener want to listen more. Even if you're not a job seeker, effective communication skills have never been more important, with money and attention so scarce now. So to cut through the clutter, choose every single word as though it was the last word the person you're speaking to will hear. Otherwise, it might be. Instead of saying, due to the fact that, say, because. And avoid mispronunciations. Say jewelry, not jewelry, which could offend. Undoubtedly, you don't want to say undoubtedly. And whatever you do, never use a preposition to end a sentence with. Just kidding. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
Richie Rich.
And Melanie.
Well, by the way, I want to say thanks to Sid, who is a Free Talk Live Silver Amplifier. Sid contributing $5 a month to the AMP program at ampamp.freetalklive.com. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. It's a simple concept. You send in $5 a month like Sid, and then we will take that money in and we'll use it to promote Free Talk Live to new radio stations. We're on over 200 stations across a week, and we definitely appreciate that. That's really awesome. But we could be on 300. We could do 400. Like, it's possible. There are other shows who have done that, so we could do it too. But it does take some effort. It does take money. And so that's where the AMP program dollars go to. You can get a list of the things we're spending the money on over at amp.freetalklive.com. You'll also get a list of the perks, the benefits that you'll get as an amplifier there, like access to the AMP-only call-in lines, for instance, on our Discord server, or the AMP, I should say AMP-only call-in line, although I could add more than one if I needed to. If it was getting crazy and a bunch of amplifiers wanted to call at once, we could do that.
Fill up the board.
But also there's some supporters discussion rooms on our Discord. There's also a Facebook group for Free Talk Live amplifiers. So go to amp.freetalklive.com. You can sign up with PayPal, credit card, or Bitcoin BTC. It's ampamp.freetalklive.com. Again, thanks to Sid for being one of our amplifiers as we go back to your calls. In fact, in that AMP call-in room is Gene the Christian Anarchist. Gene, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hello, guys.
Hey.
Yeah. Listen, I wanted to talk about the Goonerman Goon Squad, and today I have a special type of goon I want to talk about, and they're called a DRE, and that stands for drug recognition expert. Now these are the guys they call if they suspect that you're on some kind of a drug, but they don't know what it is. They got one of their goons went to a class for 12 hours or whatever to claim that he can look at you, examine you, and determine whether you're taking PCP or crystal meth or whatever. You know, he's supposed to be able to examine you and then testify in court that you were under the influence of crystal meth or
Which is
whatever
really
he
weird
thinks it was.
because drug tests exist.
Well, I wouldn't trust the government drug test either, though.
And I certainly didn't. This is basically pseudoscience. My wife is a doctor, and I've asked my wife, and she went to medical school, and she says she don't think that even a doctor can look at somebody and examine them and then determine what type of drug they're on just by they do things like blood pressure and pulse and check your eyes and this kind of nonsense and determine
but if you hit him
what
with the taser and he rips it out of his chest and still comes at you, might be PCP.
Yeah, then maybe, but that's not part of the DRE testing procedure. They've got 12 steps, and you can go look online. They've got these 12 steps. But if anybody's confronted with this, I've noticed by looking at the steps of this is that part of it requires an interview process. So simply saying I want to talk to my lawyer shoots this whole thing right down. That just knocks the legs right out from under them because part of it is an interview.
What do you think the chances of them putting it in the schools then to catch students on drugs, because they will likely not decline the interview part of the process?
Well, I mean, this is part of our burden to society. We need to educate people not to talk to the goons. These guys are just looking for you to make a mistake so they can lock you up for something. And definitely, if one of these DRE guys is called out to a scene where you are, or any of the people listening to this radio show are, that they need to just simply say, I need to talk to my attorney. I want to talk to my attorney. So it has to be clear. It has to be loud. I mean, you don't have to be obnoxious about it, but you have to make sure that they hear your request to talk to your attorney. And it's just like I'm just flabbergasted that this kind of pseudoscience nonsense can be considered in a court of law and actually destroy people's lives over this kind of testimony.
Well, there's all kinds of pseudoscience in those crime labs that are oddly called crime labs and not science labs or evidence labs or anything else.
Well, even in a court of law, the cop's testimony is like valued higher than yours anyway.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah, and they're the biggest liars out there, so if anything, their testimony should be worth close to zero.
Should be, but it's not. The judge goes like, well, he said this and you said this, and he's a sworn officer of the court, so we'll take his word.
It's true.
Yeah, so I just wanted to let people know about DREs. Keep your eyes open. If you're stopped for any kind of if you're swerving or whatever, and especially if you blow a clean alcohol. Well, now, if you were to blow in their machine and it comes up clean, that's when they want to call these DRE people.
Melanie, have you heard that some recommend not taking the roadside tests?
It depends on what state you're in and what else you got going on.
Yeah.
I can't give a universal answer. Or I can't give a universal recommendation about that.
Right. There's different laws in different states.
I think personally, I would refuse their blood test. That's going to be I've never been asked yet, and I've never been asked to blow in one of those things. But I think if I were asked, and I don't drink, so I'm not really an alcoholic. I don't. I'll have like 4 drinks a year, just socially with people. But if I was ever asked to blow in one, I think just for general principles, I'm going to tell them no.
Yeah, that might not be the only reason to. So I cannot universally recommend that people refuse that. Those machines are also not the most reliable.
Right.
They come up
correct.
That should be a better reason
when people who never drank in their life come up positive on those tests. They're not reliable.
We've heard that the machines that are actually in the police department, which are supposed to be more reliable, are also impeachable, and they're like questionable as far as their quality.
Those are probably better.
Yeah,
because they're not like out on the road being messed with. But
that would be an even better reason to give a universal recommendation not to.
Well,
that's the thing. There's different laws.
But different laws have different states, and different
different
people have different things they have to comply with.
They'll suspend your driving privileges.
Some people are better off taking a charge than losing their license. No, that's not everybody, but I'm not going to sit here and say all 300 million people in the U.S. do X.
Gene, thanks for the call tonight. I definitely appreciate hearing from you. That's Gene, the Christian anarchist. You want to talk to him? He's hanging out in our D-Live chat room, not DLive chat room, sorry, Discord chat room.
If you do blow positive and you know that you're sober, demand a blood test.
Okay, I'd rather just not blow. Right? I mean, I know I'm sober.
If you refuse on the side of the road, you can still say you're not refusing. You're willing to take the test back at the station.
Yeah. I've been taken to the station and then offered the test.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, no, I'm not going to take your test. They go, well, you're going to be in here for a few days then. I'm like, well, I got the next few days off, so let's have at it. Make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and,
Then they didn't suspend your license for that? What state was this? Hawaii?
Yeah.
Interesting. So some states will suspend your license, right, if you don't take the test?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it depends. It's one of those things where you need to know what jurisdiction.
States, some people are legally required to not refuse based on either.
Well, then just do it under duress, right? But I'm not going to voluntarily do it, knowing that I'm always sober and that result could show me as not being.
Yeah. So, if you want to join the conversation here, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Coming up here, we're going to get into breaking bad habits. Richie, you've got some tips on how to do that, plus how to draft dodge. Melanie, you want to get into the how-to on getting out of the draft, because there's been some news recently where people have been frightened that there's a chance the draft is going to come back. It was the fears around World War III with Iran and the strike against Soleimani, one of their generals, like a week ago or something like that?
Yeah. There was a recent article that basically confirmed the claim that you should be concerned about the reinstitution of the draft. So
really?
Yeah.
So we can get into all that. Your calls and thoughts are certainly welcome. And, of course, you can bring up anything that's on your mind. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And there was even a story about the Selective Service website apparently crashed last weekend.
Yes, it did.
Now, I mean, there was all this news about it as though it was some sort of big deal. And I'm sorry. I don't think it was that big of a deal. It's a government website. These people suck at everything they do, including running websites. And it's probably just, a little bit more demand crashed the site. It probably wasn't like a huge rush of people going to the site until the news media.
I probably have a better site than some government agencies.
But the fact that it was more than normal means that there was increased concern over.
There is definitely increased concern, but we'll continue here. We can get into it. 855-450-FREE. We'll talk about the draft and how to avoid it coming up in hour number 2 here on Free Talk Live. Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McAlvany ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,562. Silver at $18.12. And Bitcoin is trading around $8,132. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, while corporate media in the United States has been fixated on events in Iran, specifically the recent admission from Iran that Ukraine International Airlines Flight 752 was accidentally shot down by its military, other equally, if not more important news, has largely been ignored or glossed over during the growing tit-for-tat conflict between the two countries. According to Tolo News, a drone strike targeting a top commander in the Taliban killed him along with around 60 civilians in Afghanistan. Locals have called the attack that involved 4 armed drones a mistake, despite officials from Afghanistan's Ministry of Defense reporting that the strike was coordinated between U.S. forces and the Defense Ministry. The Pentagon's confirmation of the attack was published in the U.S. military publication Stars and Stripes. In an article titled, "Airstrike in Western Afghanistan Kills Leader of Taliban Splinter Group, May Have Killed Civilians." Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. A Walmart supercenter in Salem, New Hampshire has been the first store to test a new kind of technology that will use robots to collect grocery items for online order fulfillment. Activist Post reports that Walmart is one of the largest companies in the world by revenue, with at least 2.3 million employees in the U.S., and has seen rapid increases in labor costs that are forcing unwanted margin compression. The solution offered by C-suite executives has been a pilot program of automating a warehouse in Salem with the goal of deploying robots to eliminate employees and save costs. The new robot is called AlphaBot, and it's 10 times faster than a human worker. That would increase productivity in the warehouse, driving down the need for new hires during peak holiday periods when orders increase. AlphaBot operates inside a 20,000 square foot warehouse that retrieves refrigerated and frozen items ordered for online grocery. A court in Guatemala City released indigenous journalist and activist Francisco Lucas Pedro on January 3rd, after he spent 13 days in detention since his arrest. According to the police, he is accused of terrorism and arson, but human rights groups say the arrest was illegal. Activist Post reports that back in 2012, a criminal court had issued an arrest warrant against Lucas, based on a complaint made by World Bank founder Esoner Hydraulia Energia. This is the Spanish firm behind Hidro Santa Cruz, the company that wanted to build a controversial water dam on the Quambalam River, considered sacred. Lucas was an active participant in the civic movement against the dam, whose construction the company eventually canceled following 8 years of protests, court battles, and international pressure. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Shortly after members of the New York Police Department found a super sharp Buck brand pocket knife earlier this morning, Lieutenant Joseph Mattioli spoke to Onion reporters at the scene of the discovery to update the public on this potentially deadly blade.
At 8:40 a.m., police discovered what seems to be a pretty badass buck knife. Investigators believe it to be basically the deadliest knife ever.
Mattioli confirmed that the pretty cool wood-handled knife has a clean edge and added that the blade must be, quote, at least like 8 inches long.
At this time, we'd like everyone to be aware that there's probably a man out there with an eye patch and scars all over his face that has access to these knives, or maybe even a samurai sword. We urge people to be careful when approaching him because he may flip out and chop both your arms off before you even realize it.
Following the announcement, Mattioli asked people to come forward if they had any information about the owner of the knife or if they just wanted to hold it for a couple of seconds. For more on this story, check this week's Onion Review.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedoms, we launch it here into the second hour of the program. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
Richie Rich.
And Melanie.
So we're going to get into the draft. Tonight, Melanie, you wanted to talk about dodging the draft and maybe how to go about doing that, perhaps? It was in the news about a week ago. I had the story in my show prep, and we kind of teased it, but we never ended up actually getting into it. But the Selective Service System website crashed last weekend, and that led to discussions about the draft possibly coming back, given that everybody was freaking out over potential World War III. World War III, hashtag World War III was trending on Twitter, and people were talking about it. And I suppose it's a good thing that people are concerned about the draft coming back because it suggests that they don't support it, that they don't like the draft. They don't like the idea of being conscripted into service of the government without their permission.
Unless you're in the military already, then you're like, those people should participate and,
Well, a lot of the people in the military don't want draftees. They don't want to be around people that don't want to be there.
I mean, that just sounds dangerous. You're in a fight. You're getting shot at. The guy next to you don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Especially if he knows you signed up voluntarily. He may or may not have a problem with you. That just sounds dangerous.
Yeah, military people tend to be very much against the draft.
Okay.
As I understand it. So again, there was a crash of the website. The Selective Service even issued a tweet about it saying, quote, due to the spread of misinformation, which apparently the misinformation they're talking about was the claim that the draft was actually back on, and that's the claim that allegedly drove people to check the Selective Service website. They say, our website is experiencing high traffic volumes at this time. If you're attempting to register or verify registration, please check back later. We appreciate your patience from the Selective Service. Now, for those of you that are maybe our younger listeners out there, you may not know anything about the draft or the Selective Service. The draft was a conscription program that conscripted, I don't know how many tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands. Honestly, I don't know. During the Vietnam War, for instance. Yep. And it was shortly after that it was abolished. The draft, I shouldn't say abolished. It was shut down. They flipped a switch, basically, and said, okay, no more draft. Right. But we're going to keep this here Selective Service system operating at full capacity just in case we decide we want to bring back the draft. So all of the draft mechanisms, all of the bureaucratic rigmarole, the forms, the draft boards, all of those things, they still exist. The Selective Service System, sss.gov, is their website. Their goal is to register every 18-year-old male. Now, I've heard they've also done this to females now in recent years. But every 18-year-old male is historically required to register for the Selective Service, even though there wasn't a draft. Right. And that's because they wanted to be able to flip the switch back on and be able to just get rolling immediately back into the draft. They've been staffing draft boards all these years, even though the draft boards have nothing to do. But they're there.
I remember registering because it was just like another form that came in the mail. Mm-hmm. And my parents said, you have to fill this out. And you filled it out and you mailed it back, and that was it.
Oh, you didn't think much about it?
It didn't even cross my mind what it was for, what the implications were.
I can't see doing that as a parent.
I read the thing and was afraid of what they were threatening, And so I filled it out of fear. I wasn't as as principled of a non-cooperationist as I am today at the time.
Me neither.
I was
definitely
17.
not, yeah.
But I was, I think they threatened like 5 years in prison and thousands or $10,000s of dollars in fines. And so I went ahead and filled it out.
Yeah.
If I knew now, or if I knew then what I know now, I would have not. I would have not filled it out.
Would you? So because you would have worried about the draft itself, or on
because
a
I
principled
don't
basis?
like to do things like that. I don't like to fill out forms for the government and jump through their hoops. So people were legitimately concerned, and they should be legitimately concerned that the draft could come back. It's not back, not right now, but if they pass whatever legislation they need to pass to reinitiate the draft, then it'll just be back, like it never went away.
It almost seems like they're going the opposite direction, at least in Congress right now.
What are they doing?
They're trying to roll back Trump's powers as, executive of the military.
Really?
Right. And
are they really?
They try to. It's like his attacks are, number one, unconstitutional.
Sure.
Right. They know it's unconstitutional, and then some Democrat, whatever, is trying to pass a bill to roll back Trump's powers to attack Iran. Right.
Okay. Cool.
He's not all of a sudden he's not allowed to do this. But
Obama could do it. But not Trump.
Right. And they're not even like basing it on the unconstitutionality of it. They're like, we're going to pass another resolution to disallow him from doing it. And so my question was like, why do they need the extra law if it's already
unconstitutional?
If it's already unconstitutional, can't you just stop him on that aspect?
Yeah.
of
Why
it?
can't they stop him?
I don't know. I'm befuddled.
Because what are you going to do? You're going to ask the executive branch to arrest itself? Are you going to ask the Secret Service to arrest the president? I mean, there is no. What's the punishment for these politicians who do unconstitutional things? There is none.
Nothing.
Well, you would think if it's the president, it would be impeachment, but we've already
that's already happened, right? So there is nothing. All right. So Melanie, let's say the draft comes back. You've got some non-legal advice for our younger listeners out there.
So, and I have to make one thing like as clear as I can before I go forward with this. I am obviously not an expert in this, and the reason why that's obvious is because I am not old enough to have been an expert in this. The person who taught me was not old enough to have been an expert in this.
Really?
You would have to have been alive and practicing in the last draft.
Okay.
So obviously I have no experience in doing this for real.
So hold on. This was information that was taught to you by someone who had it taught to them?
Nobody ever sat me down and was like, here's the case law on how to draft dodge. Mm-hmm. But it was one of the subjects that I did study.
Interesting. And you did go to law school.
Yeah.
So
that's an interesting elective in law school.
Not how to draft dodge. Not how to draft. So sometimes there is data that you can use in the opposite way of which it was intended.
Okay. So what do we need to know?
So there was a lot of people I've seen recently kind of afraid that it's going to come back and kind of stating how they intended to avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
And since I'm not subject to it, I really am not going to.
No, wait, why aren't you subject to it? Didn't they just make it so women now have to register?
Well, first of all, I'm not 18 and 25.
I thought it affected all the way up to 36. It's only till 25?
You only have to register between 18 and 25.
Oh, and so you're beyond that point, so you're not in the registration.
And that was a district court anyway, so they can't really affect that until the Supreme Court changes it. It's not until the Supreme Court or Congress changes it.
So you're saying women don't have to do it yet? You're saying women don't have to? Okay, interesting.
So there's a couple ways to. I think conscientious objector status is probably your best bet.
Now, as I understand it, well, hold on. A conscientious objector doesn't mean you avoid the draft. That just means that they won't supposedly put you in combat roles, right?
So you can be a conscientious objector to combat, or you can be a conscientious objector to military-related activities. They still can put you in non-military, quote, national service roles.
See, I got a problem with that. I don't want to serve any kind of conscription with the government.
Right.
I don't want to pack boxes for the government. I don't want to do anything for them.
Well, then you just end up sitting your time out in jail.
Go to prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously there's no like statute of, oh, this is how to legally judge drafts, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you're trying to caveat the fact that it's not going to be like legal advice.
Oh, this is not legal advice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Well, she's not an attorney, so it's not legal advice.
Okay.
But yeah, it's always good to make that clear. Collect your thoughts on this. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Is there a way to actually get around the draft, meaning like to avoid being a conscientious objector and,
Stomp
what if
your feet hard enough
what if
to
I'm a
get bone
tranny?
spurs.
If
Nope,
I'm a
that doesn't work.
Can't be a tranny anymore? What if I admit doing psychedelic drugs?
Nope.
No? Damn it. All right, 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful. Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dinovite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies, grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it, and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dinovite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic.
And Cindy Lukasevic.
Inviting you and your pets to Dinovite.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
Free Talk Live.
Now, in the light, there was a being. He started to moonwalk.
Are you saying Michael Jackson has come back from the alien spaceships?
And he said, I am Michael Jackson.
See, I called it.
There we go.
You talk with God throughout your life. You heard this voice that you recognized as God telling you, do you believe in magic, inviting you to look out the window, where you then saw Michael Jackson coming down from a rainbow ray of light coming from the sky. So what happened then? Did he, invite you to his playland or whatever it is he has?
9 months later, the virgin birth happened again.
Wouldn't that be ironic?
A lot of things happened that night. He asked if he could resurrect himself inside of me. I'm like, yeah.
You called it. Did you have Michael Jackson's baby?
I had Michael Jackson.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Talking about the draft. Is it going to come back? And if so, what can you do about it if you're a young person? Melanie's got some ideas. We'll get into that coming up here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And also want to make sure you know about Freedom's Phoenix. It's a liberty-oriented news aggregation site. So if you want the newest and freshest stories and perspectives on current events from those who value liberty, then check out freedomsphoenix.com. And they've also got a daily dispatch that you can sign up for, and then you'll stay up to date on science, technology, historical findings, liberty news, government overspending, and the rise of the police state. It's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. That's freedomsphoenix.com. We'll get back into Melanie's tips for draft dodging coming up here in a moment, but first we go to Rob. He's in Maine. Rob, you're on Free Talk Live, listening online.
Yeah, I was curious when you said that about, I didn't know how many were drafted during the Vietnam War, but I looked it up. It was 2.2 million.
Wow.
And two-thirds of the troops were volunteers. Mm-hmm. But see, unlike 69, I got my letter, for the draft, and but my dad was in the military, and he died with a service-connected death, so I was 4A, so I didn't have to go. But, I wouldn't have gone anyway. Mm. But I remember, so...
What does 4A mean?
4A, sole surviving son.
Okay.
So, because my dad died with a service-connected death, and I was the only son.
You said you wouldn't have gone anyway. What would you have done to avoid it then? Well,
I wrote a letter back to him, and my mom intercepted it, and then she got in touch with a senator. We were stationed in Kansas then, and made sure that I wasn't going to go. But I don't know what I would have done. I just didn't believe in killing, and I still don't, and all
Good.
that. But I want to tell you that, my mom remarried, and we went to Germany. So I was, in Germany in 67, 68. I went to military, school on the base there in Kaiserslautern. And a lot of all my friends were either military or, the same age as me, 18, 19, whatever, or they were dependents. But a lot of the guys that got sucked into the military they'd get busted for a joint. And in Texas, it was really bad. Mm-hmm. And they were given the option by the judge, either enlist and go to Vietnam or go to jail for a year. And a lot of people were in the military because of that. Mm-hmm. But
seems like jail would give you better survival odds.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but who wants to be in jail? And plus,
I'd rather be in jail than be dead.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people got sent to other places besides Vietnam. But what really ranks me now is that Trump was just on the Laura Ingraham show.
Yeah.
And he was saying we have a very good relationship with Saudi Arabia. I said, this is a quote. I said, listen, you're a rich country. You want more troops? I'm going to send them to you, but you got to pay us. So they put $1 billion in the bank, Trump says. In South Korea, they put $500 million in the bank. I don't know what bank account. And our troops are going over there for them. It's like the old Hessian soldiers, troops for hire. It's like Trump's whore army cashes in on death, mass murder, mayhem, and destruction.
There's no
Our
difference
killers are
between
hired.
what he's saying and the way things have always been. I mean, they've always sent troops to protect their supposed allies. In this case, they're getting paid directly, apparently, by those allies for the troops, and they're not reducing our tax burdens or anything like that. So we're just getting screwed every which way possible.
Imagine if they weren't getting paid for it, though. Then your tax
they'd
burden
raise the
would go
price.
up, maybe.
There's 21 a day that commit suicide.
Yeah,
When you're put in situations like that, or in Vietnam, I mean, that destroyed a whole generation. They were all dysfunctional for the horrible stuff that they had to endure, and they became killers, a lot of them, and they didn't psychologically adjust to it very well, which I can understand that. But here we go again. And back in the Vietnam days, if you joined the National Guard, that was out. You didn't go. You weren't sent overseas. But now,
They can send you there.
Yep.
Hey, Rob, great call. Thanks for making it tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Tom's on the line in New Hampshire. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Tom.
Yeah, I was just thinking, what would really be wicked funny is if Andrew Yang gets elected president and he's given everybody $1,000 a month, and then the next election, the Libertarians get elected, and they don't like this $1,000 a month because it's all stolen money and because it's unconstitutional.
Mm-hmm.
So they put a stop to it. But in the meantime, if everybody forgot how to work, wouldn't that be hilarious?
But is it really stolen money if they're just printing it out?
Yeah, because we're being
stolen value
to do all our.
Yeah, but you're choosing to use their money.
That's only kind of true.
You have other options. You could use cryptocurrency. You could use gold and silver. The fact is you're using their money. If they want to print it out, then isn't it your fault for using their money knowing that they're printing it out?
In some ways, you do have a point there, yeah. But it would still be wicked funny if they forgot how to do work and then they're... I think that would be fun.
Well, it would be hilarious if the Libertarians could actually win an election. Hey, thanks for the call tonight, Tom. I appreciate it.
My co-host is a somewhat fan of UBI.
This is on your show, The Anarchist Experience, at anarchistexperience.com. What's his name? What's your co-host's name?
MC.
MC.
And
UBI, the Universal Basic Income.
Right. And I disagree. I don't want to put
Does he claim to be a libertarian, your co-host?
Yes.
Okay.
So hear me out. I don't want to put him on blast or call him out on this. What he wants to see is the UBI experiment tried.
Yeah. They tried it.
He's well aware that it's, stolen money or whatever.
Didn't they try it in Finland and it failed?
Right.
Okay.
So his perspective on it is similar to what Tom said, and what you said is they're going to inflate the currency anyway. Right now when they print the money, they give it to the banks, and then if you're lucky, it trickles down to, the average everyday American. So his suggestion for UBI is...
But not in a good way.
Not in a good way.
Because it increases the money supply. It's inflation, so therefore when it trickles down, it makes your money worth less.
You're correct.
Yeah.
But so his solution to that is it's accepted. I call him out because I don't accept the premise that you have to have an inflationary currency or alternates.
Yeah.
But as long as you're going to have an inflationary currency, he says give that to the bottom rung
instead of to the politically connected.
Right.
Okay, I see what he's saying. That doesn't mean I support it.
If those are my options,
I don't support it either.
If those are my options, that's what I'm going to pick.
Yeah.
Because either way, I'm inflating the currency.
Right. So for
but only
Yang
one of them,
supporters-
I'm empowering fractional reserve banks to run around and do all kinds of crazy things.
Right. But for the Yang supporters, if they're going to inflate the currency anyway, why not give that $1,000 to average Americans rather than to the banks?
But that's not the proposal with Yang. The proposal with Yang is to do that in addition to the current system.
Okay.
Toll-free number tonight, if you want to join us here. We got more on the draft on the way here. Melanie's got some ideas to avoid it. 855-450-FREE. That's the toll-free number, 855-450-3733. We can talk about money as well. We get a couple comments in the D-Live chat about this issue of money and...
D-Live this time or the Discord?
D-Live this time.
Okay.
More coming up here in moments. You can share your thoughts with us on Free Talk Live.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% fine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want right here. Toll free, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. Jump into one of those if you want to sound like you're sitting here in the studio with us at discord.lrn.fm. And Free Talk Live brought to you by AnyPay. If you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash, now there's an incentive program that AnyPay has been working on, and it allows you to sign up a business to use AnyPay's cash register app to accept Bitcoin Cash and Dash at their point of sale, and then you get the rewards. You get a passive income for every purchase made in those cryptocurrencies at the businesses that you get started with. So it's super easy. Just download the AnyPay Cash Register app to your device and get it set up by putting in your cryptocurrency wallet addresses into your account. And then install AnyPay Cash Register at your favorite local real-life business and tell them you did it over at anypayinc.com. That's anypayinc.com as we go right back into your calls and thoughts. But first, a couple highlights here from our D-Live chat room. One guy says about our show, apparently new to the show, pure idiocy. Don't use money. That supports the Fed. Starve for your liberty. Were we saying don't use money in the last segment?
We said don't use the state's money. Definitely said that. If you want to avoid the inflation and all that.
Yeah, you did say don't use money that supports the Fed. I would say that's a fair interpretation of what you said.
Yeah, well, I wasn't saying don't use it, just saying you have to understand if you're going to use it that you are basically going to be debased. You're going to have the value that was in that money taken from you, and the money itself will stay the same amount, you know, in your wallet, but as they print more dollars out, it makes the money that you have worth less. You just need to know that going into it.
What the chatter is confused about is he just equates money with the little green pieces of paper in his wallet. Right, and that system, probably not understanding that there's many different kinds of money.
That's right.
Especially now. And so we're not saying don't use money. We're saying as best you can, if you want to avoid the inflationary tendencies of the Federal Reserve note,
get out of it.
Get out of it.
And there are options now that are more accessible than ever.
A multitude of options.
Cryptocurrency being the number one choice because it's the easiest to spend. It's the easiest to use in a variety of different ways. Let's go to your calls and thoughts, though. You can bring up what you want. We'll start with Robert in South Carolina listening to WRHI in Rock Hill on FM. Go ahead, Robert.
Yes, I'm in Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, sorry about that. So you must be listening to WTMA.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yes, exactly. I lived under democratic socialism for about 20 years in Germany, part of which was in Eastern Germany, in Dresden. And we always thought about how to do the planned economy versus a free capitalist economy. And the thing is, you see, it's actually you're not pulling money out of the economy, you're pulling value out of the economy. And in Germany, what we finally decided on was to have it such that, like if you work for a private company, the most well-paid person in the company could only earn 12 times as much as the least paid person in the company, because otherwise you're creating maldistribution of wealth. And with regard to doing
you're creating what?
Malfeasant wealth.
Maldistribution of wealth.
Malfeasant wealth.
Well, you see, if one person goes into the store and buys a piece of bread, like if the wealthiest family in America bought a piece of bread, he'd be paying exactly the same amount of money as the poorest person in America to buy that same piece of bread.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be unfair, really. And same thing for a traffic violation, for example. I mean, in Sweden, for example, did a good job on that one. If you're a very wealthy person and you do a little traffic violation, it could cost you thousands of dollars. But if you're a very poor person, it could cost you maybe $10 or something like that.
So you're saying there should be a sliding scale when it comes to government fees and such as far as the wealth of the individual?
Well, if you want to be perfectly fair about it, there should be a sliding scale for everything, because, I mean, how can you say that the wealthiest family in the world should
No,
pay
if you
the
want to
same
be
amount
fair
of
about it, you don't arrest people or ticket them for crap like, speeding.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got to. Otherwise, everybody would be speeding. You kidding
Everybody does speed, dude. Have you ever driven?
I sure have, but some people would be driving 253 miles an hour because that's
most
the
people
fastest
don't have a car that can do 250 miles an hour.
Yes, there is. The Bugatti Veyron.
No. I said most people do not have a car that can go 250 miles an hour.
So the 12 people in the world with a Bugatti.
There are people out there who can afford it. Believe me.
So you support people being ticketed for nonviolent crimes
and wealth caps.
Of course. You'd have mayhem. You'd have everybody. You'd have the wealthiest people in the world. What's a traffic ticket to them? That's nothing. Absolutely nothing. They can afford that so easy it'd make your head spin.
Yeah, I'm okay with that because I don't really care how fast they're going as long as they don't wreck anybody else.
Well, they could cause a wreck. I mean, what if you had an 18-year-old kid who belongs to a family with the wealthiest family in the world, which has trillions of dollars?
Then can we hold him accountable once he's actually caused harm and damage?
Of course, but he could cause 50 people to die, and then what would you do? Say, okay, kid, we're going to throw you in jail, and then his family would come along and say, okay, we'll buy the whole jail in the whole country to get him out, because they could do that. And the wealthiest family in the world has trillions.
Okay, so
that's a really bizarre
I love
scenario.
this guy. He believes that he can set up a government that would somehow be not affected by wealthy people, that there would somehow be a coercive state out there that could resist the temptation of serving the wealthy differently in a better way than poor people. You're in fantasy land, dude.
Every country has a very powerful, very small elite, and I don't. You want to name the country? I'll tell you. I mean, the countries with which I'm familiar, even the Nazi era. Adolf Hitler's nephew was involved in a little traffic thing, and the Nazis didn't give him a ticket because they were thought to themselves, "Oh my God, the Führer's
You think nephew, you can change that?
How do you solve that with socialism?
Well, the thing is, in the Nazi system, that was one of the extreme forms of socialism, or maybe, I don't know, probably the same situation in Russia with if it were the son of Joseph Stalin or something like that.
Right, so how are you proposing to solve that?
Well, that particular one, if it's the Führer himself, or if it's Joseph Stalin's son under Stalinism, maybe a traffic ticket he could probably get away with. But look at Joseph Stalin. When the Nazis captured Joseph Stalin's son, and they said, "Okay, Joe, you want him back? It's going to cost you." He said, "No, I'll never compromise with you guys." So they killed his own son. Now,
what are you trying to say?
How about that? I'm trying to say that yes and no to your answer. It depends upon the system.
So the trillionaire system may not buy the entire jail just to save their son.
So you support... Hold on. I want to see if I understand what you're saying here, Robert. You're saying that in a system that Robert would design, some people who are politically connected can get a pass, but other people would be punished who are also politically connected?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, if it's the most powerful family in the country, in most of the vast majority of the world, the kid isn't even going to get into that trouble because the family's going to have two bodyguards on each side.
Okay, we know that there's nepotism, there's favoritism, there's, people rewarding their friends and, in positions of power. I thought you were proposing to change all that. Are you embracing that, or are you rejecting it?
I can tell you what would happen in the case, because you have the wealthiest family in the world. I'm not going to mention their name, but they happen to live in the United States, and they happen to be Americans, and their kids never get into trouble because their kids are watched. Those parents and the grandparents and the great-grandparents know exactly where those kids are, what they're up to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so they're never going to get
into that. What's the point?
Okay, so that just tells me that people who make good decisions with money and make good decisions with bettering themselves and getting skill sets also make good decisions with raising their kids and making sure they're not out doing stupid stuff.
Or they're protecting them when they do.
Of course they're going to do that. They're not going to get their names into the press. And besides that, they basically own the press. And if you want to get a loan at a bank and this family doesn't like you, theoretically they could stop you from getting a loan anyplace.
What are you going to do about it? I thought you were upset about this. Now it sounds like you support it. I don't know what you're trying to say here tonight.
I'm just telling you the way it is.
I know the way it is. I'm in this world. We know that the rich are connected. We know that they have the government agents in their pockets. We know that they work together to scratch each other's back, mega corporations and government corporations. We know they work together. You think you can change that?
I don't. I work within the system. I'm part of the system, and so are you.
So you can't change it.
The best way to work. You still there?
We're right here.
Hello? Okay, good. The best way to work is within the system.
So you can't change it.
You can't change
No,
it.
You
Absolutely.
Can't.
One man can
You're
do
ridiculous.
amazing things.
Thanks for the call. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE. The system is what we were just describing. What makes you think you can change it? What, are you going to elect people that aren't going to reward their friends when they get power?
$100,000 speeding tickets.
Ridiculous. More on the way here, 855-450-FREE. You can take control of the airwaves. This is Free Talk Live.
Warning, if you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-976-1460. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-976-1460. That's 1-800-976-1460. 1-800-976-1460.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits, at mypatriotsupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at mypatriotsupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. mypatriotsupply.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Rolling for the other road.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me?
Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms at discord.lrn.fm. You can hop into one of those, and you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us tonight. It's Ian.
Richie Rich.
And Melanie.
Also, it's important to have good nutrition in your life. It's important to looking and feeling great, but it's difficult to eat right all the time these days with work and travel schedules getting in the way, or maybe you just don't have the desire or the time to shop and cook the right foods. Well, Balance of Nature can help you with 3 of their Balance of Nature fruit capsules and 3 of their veggie capsules. You get 10 servings of fruits and vegetables, and that is a lot of nutrition. If you would like to get a great deal, which includes being a preferred customer, giving the best pricing and free shipping, and also after your 3rd month, Balance of Nature will ship to you at no charge an additional set of fruits and veggies. Here's how you do it. You go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL to get that offer. That's balanceofnature.com with code FTL, like Free Talk Live. As we continue here, we will take your calls and thoughts about what you want. We go first to Patrick, calling from Florida. He's watching us on DLive at dlive.lrn.fm. Go ahead, Patrick.
Gentlemen, am I on the air?
You are. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate you taking my call. Hey, listen, I know a lot of my answers to the screener seemed quite non-serious. But
I don't know what you told the screener. Just go right ahead with your call.
Don't? Okay, excuse me. Hey,
the topic here says you want to discuss libertarians, but it really doesn't matter what you want to talk about. So go ahead.
I want to discuss libertarians.
What a kooky bunch they are, huh?
These guys, I'm telling you, I used to be one. That's why I know what scumbags they are. Yeah.
Why did you leave? Why did you stop being a libertarian?
Well, I didn't leave. I mean, it's not like leaving. It's just like sometimes you change your mind. It's sometimes sometimes.
What did you change your mind about, though?
Well, I stopped changing. I changed my mind about agency. How much agency a person actually has? You know what I mean?
Meaning the ability to make a decision for themselves?
Yeah.
How much they have or how much they should have?
How much they have and how much the average person has.
Okay.
I mean, you guys are running a internet radio show, right?
No, we're actually on broadcast radio on over 200 radio stations, but we do have internet feeds, and you're watching one of them.
No, you guys are clearly really high agency guys, right?
I like to think so.
Well, that's very nice of you.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
Of course you are. Of course you are. You're really high agency. You've gone out and done something for yourselves.
Thank you. Okay, sure.
And I'm not trying to like kiss your ass, but what I'm saying is that you guys are the exception rather than the rule.
Okay.
The average person, the average American, doesn't have the level of agency that you guys have.
Then do you want to subsidize them, or do you want to let the chips fall where they may?
May I finish my point now?
Sure.
All right. My point is that it's good to have people like you, high agency people. You're the kind of people that should be running the show. You should be in charge, not only of yourselves, but of other people.
Well, I don't want to tell other people what to do.
Well, then why aren't you voting libertarian?
I know you don't. I know you don't want to. It sucks, but you might have to.
No, I don't.
Because otherwise,
you don't tell me what I
can. To tell you what to do?
You don't tell me what I can and can't do.
I'm not listening long enough.
I'm not telling you what you have to do. I'm telling you what you ought to do.
Well, what you're saying is, let me see if I understand what you're saying here. You're saying you believe because some people are not as smart as you, that therefore they need to be told what to do.
No, don't point this at me. You guys are the smart ones. I'm just some guy that's had a little bit of Jim Beam and watched.
I'll just say thank you.
Oh, I thought you were like smart, and that's why you left the libertarian movement, because you figured out something about agency. Go ahead and continue with whatever you're trying to say.
I'm not saying that I'm smart. I'm saying that there are.
So you want to be told what to do? Is that what you're saying?
Smart people. No, I don't want to be in charge of anything.
No. My question was, you want to be told what to do?
How much agency do you want in your life? I guess would be a.
You know what? That's a really good question. I don't have the answer to it, and I'm not trying to say that I know what the answer is. Does that make sense? I'm not saying that I have a replacement answer, but I'm just saying that I'm not sure that your answer is the right one.
Well, now wait a minute. My answer is simple. As a liberty-minded person, as somebody who is a voluntarist, I believe that all human interaction should be consensual. So, if you want to be told what to do, there are people who will tell you what to do. You can hire an expert. You can hire somebody who just loves to tell people what to do.
I work for a guy. He tells me what to do all the time.
Okay.
What I'm saying but you know why he gets to tell me what to do?
Because he pays you.
You chose to have him tell you what to do.
No, because he knows better than I do.
Oh. And you chose to work for him, so you made that voluntary choice to have somebody tell you what to do.
100%.
You do the things they say.
Maybe there's a voluntary choice. All I'm saying is
that they pay you.
If you just
there's nothing 100% wrong with that either.
All right.
No, there's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what you want to do. That's fine.
Are you under the impression that libertarianism kind of allows people to just kind of do whatever without any repercussions?
No. What I'm saying is that it allows them to do things with repercussions.
Right. So So right now we have a government telling people what they can and can't do. In the absence of the government, which some would call libertarianism, you would have the markets basically telling people what they can and can't do. And they can do it anyway, just like you can under a government. But the market would pretty much dictate how you can behave, and that is more reliant than just what Ian or I or Rich going around pointing at people this is what I guess.
Here's the thing. I guess it's maybe an end goal that's different from you to me. Like I'm not. I just want other people's lives. I want people's lives to be good.
Yeah, me too. And I think that it's a bad life when you have a bunch of people telling you what to do without your permission. If you want to give somebody permission to tell you what to do, cool, man, go right ahead.
Or just get advice, right? Like I will take advice from a doctor or from a trainer.
But usually you only want advice you ask for, right? Like you don't want somebody shoving advice down your throat.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but there like lots of people have problems where they could have agency over their own life. Right, but do they exercise it? That's my question.
Well, that's their choice. If they don't want to, that's fine.
Hold on, Ian, please. If they don't want to, my jab here is that I don't think people can actually exercise as much agency, no matter how smart they are. To be honest. I mean, you have guys that are really smart get addicted to cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that possible?
Because they want to have a good time with some cocaine. I don't know.
Also, you need intelligence, but you also, to quote, succeed, which people are going to define differently. You also kind of need low time preference.
Yeah, I knew it.
Cocaine being a very high time preference activity.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not interested in it personally, but I knew a guy who was a doctor who was, a regular user of cocaine. So, I mean, just because you're addicted to cocaine doesn't necessarily mean you're a failure.
Intelligence is not all you need. You still have to act right.
Come on,
and agency doesn't equal success.
Come
either.
on.
Come on, what?
Come on,
What?
Listen, what I'm saying is that the biochemical processes in our brain are not rigid libertarian principle. It doesn't work. It doesn't. I that's what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that I have a better solution than the one you guys are presenting. But what I'm saying is that the one you guys are presenting isn't perfect. And
nobody said it was.
See, because humans are involved, there's no way to make it perfect.
I don't even know what solution we're offering that's not perfect.
Yeah, nobody here said anything was perfect. What we are advocating on this program, and it does sound like
you guys about biochemistry in the brain, right? So why can some people just eat themselves to be huge people? And dude, they shouldn't do that, right? Like there could be otherwise very smart. I have an uncle who's a real estate magnate. He's smarter than me by a factor of 10. This guy is diabetic. He eats a bajillion Subway sandwiches.
Okay.
Like,
some people have weaknesses, Patrick. I mean, nobody is perfect. Some have strengths in certain areas and weaknesses in others.
Let's take him at his word. Right now, you have a very smart real estate uncle, right, who happens to be large.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What are you suggesting be done to or for your uncle to help him with his health?
Say that again. I'm sorry. I was interrupting you that whole time.
Oh, okay. Well, you were muted.
No, we put you on mute, so it didn't work.
So I'm going to take you. I'm going to take your scenario. You have a very smart real estate magnate uncle who happens to be large, right? And I guess you're saying that
happens to be. Hold on. Can I stop you there? Happens to be.
I have never seen him, so I'm going to say I'm going to take you at your word.
It's not like he rolled the lottery.
Okay.
No, he chose to do that.
Who caused himself to be?
Yeah.
Fine. However you want to word it.
What's the question?
So what is it that you want done to him or for him that you think would help improve his health?
I think if you took away some of his, and I'm putting the air quotes here, agency around what he eats,
just tie him up.
His life would improve.
Most statists would not even advocate that level of control on people.
Put him in chains so he can't reach the fridge. Patrick, thank you for the call. I do appreciate hearing from you. We got a whole board of phones here that we need to get to, so we're going to get to that. But feel free to call in any other night. I'd love to talk further with Patrick. It was an interesting call. Yeah. We got hour number 3 on the way here. This is Free Talk Live. Your call's coming up.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,562, silver at $18.12, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,132. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, while corporate media in the United States has been fixated on events in Iran, specifically the recent admission from Iran that Ukraine International Airlines Flight 752 was accidentally shot down by its military, other equally, if not more important news, has largely been ignored or glossed over during the growing tit-for-tat conflict between the two countries. According to Tolo News, a drone strike targeting a top commander in the Taliban killed him along with around 60 civilians in Afghanistan. Locals have called the attack that involved 4 armed drones a mistake, despite officials from Afghanistan's Ministry of Defense reporting that the strike was coordinated between U.S. forces and the Defense Ministry. The Pentagon's confirmation of the attack was published in the U.S. military publication Stars and Stripes, in an article titled "Airstrike in Western Afghanistan Kills Leader of Taliban Splinter Group. May have killed civilians." Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. A Walmart supercenter in Salem, New Hampshire has been the first store to test a new kind of technology that will use robots to collect grocery items for online order fulfillment. Activist Post reports that Walmart is one of the largest companies in the world by revenue, with at least 2.3 million employees in the U.S., and has seen rapid increases in labor costs that are forcing unwanted margin compression. The solution offered by C-suite executives has been a pilot program of automating a warehouse in Salem with the goal of deploying robots to eliminate employees and save costs. The new robot is called AlphaBot, and it's 10 times faster than a human worker. That would increase productivity in the warehouse, driving down the need for new hires during peak holiday periods when orders increase. Alphabot operates inside a 20,000 square foot warehouse that retrieves refrigerated and frozen items ordered for online grocery. A court in Guatemala City released indigenous journalist and activist Francisco Lucas Pedro on January 3rd, after he spent 13 days in detention since his arrest. According to the police, he is accused of terrorism and arson, but human rights groups say the arrest was illegal. Activist Post reports that back in 2012, a criminal court had issued an arrest warrant against Lucas, based on a complaint made by World Bank founder Esoner Hydraulia Energia. This is the Spanish firm behind Hidro Santa Cruz, the company that wanted to build a controversial water dam on the Quambalam River, considered sacred. Lucas was an active participant in the civic movement against the dam, whose construction the company eventually canceled following 8 years of protests, court battles, and international pressure. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
The victims of a devastating tornado expressed gratitude that The Onion's three-part series on the disaster was reported with fairness, accuracy, and an unusual degree of sensitivity. Survivors said they were at least thankful for one thing, that The Onion put much more care and insight into their reporting of the tragedy than any competing newspaper, by far. In economic news, a Pulitzer Prize would very much help certain newspapers increase their circulation, resulting in greater ad sales and more revenue to pay their tireless, hardworking reporters, all of whom have families at home to care for. In other headlines, a group known as Americans for Fairness in Awarding Journalism Prizes is asking all Americans to help The Onion receive a Pulitzer Prize. An anonymous man says he will murder 50 innocent people if The Onion is not awarded a Pulitzer. And look at it, it's beautiful. Look, just give us a Pulitzer already, okay? This is humiliating. For more prize-worthy stories and videos, go to theonion.com/review.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, and we're launching into the third hour here on the live Sunday edition of the show. With you tonight, it's Ian,
Richie Rich,
and Melanie.
You can bring up whatever you want. In fact, almost full phone lines here, but if you want to jump in, you can. The toll-free number is 855-450, free, 855-450-3733, or call on our Discord server. We got call-in lines there. They're right at the top of the list of rooms on our Discord. Just go to discord.lrn.fm. We got one guy waiting there, too, so we're going to go right back into your calls and thoughts. Tim is in Virginia to start things out here tonight. Tim, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hey, guys.
Hey,
and
Tim.
Melanie. How you doing?
Welcome. What's on your mind tonight, Tim?
Hey, I just wanted to clarify a couple things that the gentleman that was a son survivor, commented about.
Yeah.
Not all Vietnam veterans came back killers. That wasn't appreciated. And also, he said reservists. Join the reservists because you won't go. No, reservists have been in every war since World War II.
Really?
All units go. Yeah. If they need that specialty, you're going.
Gotcha.
And also, just because you join the military don't mean you're going into combat. There's hundreds of jobs where you don't even carry a gun.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have an objection to being coerced into doing things in general, so I wouldn't want to do any of that crap.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it's an all-volunteer force.
For now.
The draft, you don't have to worry about the draft.
Why?
Anything that would come close would be if they hit us on both borders, which is impossible.
Well, okay, if you don't have to worry about the draft, then why did they keep the selective service around?
Well, there's always that possibility. Anything can happen.
Then someone
you
could
have
worry
to
about
worry about it.
You know, I mean, I don't agree with worrying. I don't think worrying makes anything better. I don't think worrying is, you know, an effective way to use your brain power or time. But, you know, for those that are concerned, I can understand why.
When the hashtag World War III is trending, right, and you have selective services in operation, and you're going to need to, like,
that's a
man
scare
soldiers.
tactic. That's a scare tactic.
Absolutely.
It's been around for years and years. When I deployed to Desert Shield, Desert Storm, we heard, oh, they got the fourth largest military. They got all this chemicals. They're going to kill it. They're going to do that. 100 hours later, we have more intelligence that we receive that the local media, the national media, actually, in my opinion, really don't have a right to, because they'll do exactly what they're doing. They scare people with it.
Okay.
So it's not going to happen. Not in my lifetime, anyway.
Well, I hope you're right about that, Tim. Anything else you want to share tonight? Go ahead.
No, other than that, you guys have a great night.
Thanks, man. Appreciate your call tonight. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Let's go on to John. He's in Nebraska, watching on YouTube. Go ahead, John.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
I kind of wanted to make a comment about what that last caller, or not the last one, but I think it was 2 callers ago. I can't remember now. But
that's all right.
He was saying that, you know, rich people, you know, should be paying more and stuff. And I kind of think that's true. You know, when you look at like the CEO of like McDonald's or something, they're making like 300 times what their average employee is making. You know, corporations are doing things like, you know, there's like when it comes to regulating, I'm curious what most libertarians think about regulation when it comes to corporations.
Yeah.
I mean, I realize there's a difference between a person and their private life at their home, but like.
So here's what I think here's the answer to your question. And I don't want to speak for you guys, but generally libertarians are against regulations because they help promote certain businesses and punish other ones, meaning that it makes it difficult for young upstarts, you know, people without a lot of money, poor people, to create their own business because regulations have been written to essentially keep them out of those businesses. And it's usually the existing corporations or the existing entities that are out there in the given marketplace that are the ones that the government looks to help them write the regulations.
I'll second that.
So basically, regulations are just essentially protectionism for those who are currently in business.
Yeah, I would go so far to say if you're in favor of regulations, then you're not a libertarian. Large corporations know what Ian just said, which is why they, a lot of the times, write the regulations themselves and sponsor and advocate for the bills. For example, Walmart was a co-sponsor for the ACA.
They advocate for these things because they know it'll protect them from competition. Yeah. But at the same time, the politicians act like they're protecting consumers. So the pitch on regulations is, we need regulations to help make sure that consumers are safe and protected.
Well, yeah, it's a hard sell for your voting population to be like, yes, I'm doing this to protect Walmart, McDonald's, and Shell.
Right, that's the truth, but the reality.
And in some instances, it's not even well-established businesses. Right, like within the last couple of years, everyone was in favor of Uber for finally taking out the taxi monopoly, right? And like
everyone except for the taxi monopoly,
right? But everyone hailed Uber as this great
oligopoly
thing until they went like, well, you know what? If we're going to have all electric car cities, there should only be one, and it should be Uber. Right, because we're not going to integrate our systems with Lyft or Arcade City or any of the other rideshare services.
Well, now you've got to the point where Uber is now writing regulations.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what it's come to.
They're not a well-established long-term, organization.
But they've established themselves enough to where they're
already doing it.
And they've got enough money to where they've bent the ears of politicians and what they call Transportation Network Company, TNC. This is the new legal term for companies like Uber. They've come up with their own set of, legalese and terms, and governments around the country, various state governments have taken Uber's regulatory recommendations and have basically, lock, stock, and barrel put them into place.
And all that money that they have from a company that hasn't turned a profit yet.
That's all true. John, thoughts? Go ahead.
I guess I'm discovering what you're what the Shire is all about. So I'm just kind of looking into this stuff now.
Okay. Well, and that's why, just before you go on, that's why what you're talking about will never come to pass. The idea that rich people should somehow be punished more stringently than poorer people, it will never happen because they are the ones who are in charge. They're the ones who have the ears of the politicians. They are the politicians, and it will never be different.
Well, maybe here, because I've been in the Discord channel, and there's an article that's old at this point, where I think it said Finland or Sweden or whatever. They were, right? It was like the $100,000 speeding ticket.
Really? For rich people?
Because it was on a scale. Like it was, instead of just a fine, the fine was based as like a percentage of your income or your wealth. And it exists there.
Wow,
right?
That's a surprise.
Right. Well, but will it come here with all the,
But that still, so yes, it's a sliding scale. That still doesn't mean that the people at the very top are in any way accountable to anyone for anything. So maybe the guy at the top can drive however fast he wants.
If he's willing to pay $100,000 for a speeding ticket.
No, the guy at the top of Finland.
Oh, okay.
Because what are you going to do?
Yeah, well, that would be like a separation of power and wealth then, right? There's wealthy people that will get fined, and then there's the wealthy people in power that are above the law.
Yeah, but if you're the richest person, you can just buy the country, and if you can't, you're not the richest person.
Well, either way, I still don't like the idea of this sliding scale. I'm
not suggesting it's a good idea.
It's not treating people equally, and beyond that, it enriches the state. It just gives them more money, and I'm against that every time. I don't pay fines. I'm not interested in paying fines. And here in New Hampshire, if I were to get, let's say this system like that went into place here, because I think it's probably unconstitutional, but if it did go into place, then if I refuse to pay a $100,000 fine, I'm going to be sitting in jail for a lot of days, because in New Hampshire you can sit in jail for $150 a day towards your fine. So
is it really $150?
It used to be 50.
Okay,
they tripled it actually about 2 or 3 years ago.
That's still a lot of days in jail.
Thank the ACLU for that. They actually moved that forward. They helped triple that. Well, it's 3 times fewer days in jail, actually, is what it is. So it's actually really a lot better. If you got busted in a $150 fine, you sit one night in jail and you're out, and the fine is gone. But if it's $100,000,
that's still a lot of days in jail. I'm not even going to do the math.
It's clearly unconstitutional to punish one person differently than another person for the same crime, I would think. I forget what, no?
Economic discrimination has been the one that's always kind of held up, because what you're doing is you're treating rich people different than poor people,
with standard
which would make
fines?
every tax scheme
unconstitutional. Yeah, good point.
Let's go with that then.
Well,
Let's
John,
make all the tax schemes
thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number here, if you want to join us, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. That seems like cruel and unusual punishment to me. I mean, maybe they would say it's not cruel, but that's pretty
as far as I'm
horrifying.
concerned, you're opting to do the jail time instead of the fine if they've decided you can afford the fine.
Yeah, but a $100,000 fine is pretty insane. There's more coming up here. 855-450-FREE like freedom. This is Free Talk Live.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's LibertyCon.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You dial in toll free here to bring up whatever you want. Number's 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And was just given another heads up that the faker, the fake Ian Freeman is out there. Right? Sorry, Richie, try that again. Shh. Yeah, he's back at it, trying to swindle people out of cryptocurrency on Telegram right now.
He doesn't know I'm sitting next to you.
He probably doesn't know that. You're right about that. But multiple people have already been contacted by him. Look, if an Ian Freeman on the internet gets in touch with you and asks for cryptocurrency, it isn't me. Just to let you know, that person is likely a scam artist. So beware of that sort of thing. Sometimes this guy fools people, and all it takes is a similar photograph, a similar username, and ignorance of the receiving party. So just want to put people on a
the
heads
first
up
time
about
he
that.
contacted me, he had me going for a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's the only time I've ever actually called into Free Talk Live as a caller was just to confirm, because he said, call me at this number. I did. He didn't answer it. I knew the studio number and the Discord chat. But he was deceptive in a way where he knew the times of the breaks for the show.
Right.
So he contacted me during a show break, and then before we finished the conversation said, I have to get back to the show.
Yep.
So
he's not stupid.
Yeah.
He's not stupid, whoever he or she is. So, I mean, credit to them for that. Then they just seem to keep coming back basically every 2 months, roughly.
That might be
like the third round. Yeah. And I think he started back in like September. So, anyway, just a heads up. Toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. LibertyCon is on the way, April 3rd through the 5th in Washington, D.C. If you care about freedom, this is going to be a great event to attend, at least as I understand it. I've never been. This is going to be my first one. But there's going to be 70, more than 70 actually, pro-liberty organizations in attendance. So you can network with these folks and help your career advance or business or internship opportunities open up. You'll be able to see some great speakers like John Mackey, the Whole Foods CEO, as well as Vernon Smith, a Nobel Prize winner in economics, Miriam Issa, a pop culture expert with over 300 million YouTube views, and Nassim Nicholas Taleb, the author of The Black Swan. You can go to learn more about the event at libertycon.com. Get your tickets now. You can get them for under $100, and that's before you apply the discount from Free Talk Live, which will knock $10 off your registration. And these are very affordable tickets, so a $10 discount is actually pretty decent. Over at libertycon.com, use code FTL. Student travel scholarships are available. Discounted rooms also available at the Marriott Marquis. So you'll want to be there. It's April 3rd through the 5th. $10 off by using code FTL at libertycon.com. As we continue, you can bring up what you want. Let's go to Tom. He's in Yorktown, Virginia, listening to WNIS. Go ahead, Tom.
Roger that, gentlemen. Great show you got going on.
Hey,
I wanted
thanks.
to reach out and kind of identify myself. I'm retired military, but I'm probably one of the most anti-war people you'll ever talk to.
Cool.
For a myriad of reasons. But yeah, I drank the Kool-Aid when I was younger, and I remember, running around with other guys and chanting "rape, kill, pillage, and plunder, drive our enemy 6 feet under," and I was quite proud of that. But I'm glad I woke up, but that's what I wanted to get to. I started to wake up around 2 decades ago when I was getting out, and it really accelerated over the past decade. And it started off with reading some books and talking to other people, and then kind of realizing that everything that's happening, I truly believe our society, our civilization is kind of past the point of no return. So we can talk about electing this person or trying to do that or, dump billions in, but none of it's going to do anything. We've got to crash and burn before we rebuild. So You're
talking about within the system, trying to fix it from within the system.
So I'm no longer an active participant. I'm not going to rallies. I'm not doing anything. I'm focusing on taking care of myself and the people I love.
That's a good place to start in general.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. I mean, you can't help other people unless you're already taken care of. The old oxygen mask theory. Yeah, put it on yourself, then help others. So, but I try to tell people, I said, don't get all riled up. Take care of yourself. And me, I'm getting ready to pull away from, work and stuff like that and just kind of go on my merry way and live a frugal existence and not really participate because all this energy and all this effort and these people get riled up. I'm like, it doesn't matter. We're past the point of no return. I mean, I like to think I'm a good thinker and a reader and a listener. So I consider myself like a decade or two ahead of most other people. That's why, I'm wearing a members only jacket right now. And I'm telling you guys, they're coming back. Get ahead of the curve and get a members only jacket.
This is something from the 1980s, right? The members only thing.
Roger that, man. Yeah. Well,
hey, look, I share where I understand where you're coming from. It doesn't matter. I mean, really, would it have made much of a difference if Hillary Clinton had won in 2016? I mean, it wouldn't have been as entertaining or fun. But ultimately, Donald Trump attacked Iran just like Hillary Clinton said she was going to attack Iran.
Yeah.
So I mean, ultimately, what's really the difference? And you're right. People do spend an inordinate amount of time and energy and money on trying to support these national political candidates, and it's all swirling down the drain. So I share that frustration.
Now, can it work at a state level?
You're right. Well, what I wanted to also change direction a little bit.
Sure.
Have you ever guys read the book called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl?
No, I've not. No.
Nope.
Well, you might want to check it out. He was interned in a concentration camp in World War II. He was a psychiatrist, an Austrian Jew, but he dedicated himself to studying people and their search for meaning, and then he wrote about afterwards. But it's a really interesting book, and I'll summarize it with this. He saw 3 possible sources for meaning in man's life, and that could be in work, doing something significant. It could be in love, caring for another person, or it could be found in courage during difficult times. So some people, if they can get a hold of one of those things, it gives them meaning in life. Some people that are lucky can hold on to multiple, but it's a fantastic piece. I think the Library of Congress says is like one of the 10 most significant books of the previous century. So Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl.
Tom, thanks for the recommendation. Anything else you want to say? Go ahead.
No, keep on doing what you're doing, man. I love it.
Good call, brother. Appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. We go to Bree in Pennsylvania. Bree, listening online at freetalklive.com. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. I just wanted to give you an update from yesterday. Last night I called about the DUI and, like, cops targeting me and everything.
Sure.
To fight some of the lawyer fees that I'm going to, have, I started a GoFundMe, and we posted it on the Amplifiers page. But I just feel like it's not fair for cops to target certain people, even when they didn't do anything, but that they can see your record and they know what you did in the past. So they just assume you're the one that is guilty.
Well, the cops love to go after people they've gone after before because they know that they can they're just like a bully,
it's
right?
Easier.
Yeah, so if you want to hang on, Bree, we can talk about it. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. They know that most people are going to roll over. They know that they're not going to fight. They know they're going to take a guilty plea. And so they know if they've done that before, then they're going to probably do it again. So they'll just hit them up with some more fines and hit them up with some more charges, and they'll get their guilty plea and get their fines. And
so make their life difficult.
Exactly. There's more coming up here. This is Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free here and bring up anything that you like. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And with you in the studio here, it's Ian.
Richie Rich.
And Melanie.
Coming up this summer in the very second week, I guess, of summertime, June 29th until July 5th. It'll be ForkFest 2020 happening at the beautiful Rogers Campground in the White Mountains of New Hampshire. The location is splendid. The people are going to be, of course, the real attraction because it's going to be a campground with a bunch of liberty-minded people hanging out. People who might describe themselves as libertarians or anarchists or voluntarists going to be there for June 29th through July 5th. You can relax and go camping with others, or maybe you want to create something for those others to do. Maybe you want to put an event together of some sort. Perhaps you got a poker table. You want to do a poker tournament or something like that. Or maybe you're musically minded. You want to put on some sort of musical performance, or heck, a battle of the bands, or whatever.
That would be fun.
It's up to you to decide. We won't decide for you because we're not in charge. Nobody, and I don't mean our co-host nobody, but I mean no one is in charge at ForkFest. And that's sort of the idea. It's a decentralized libertarian camping festival. There's no board of directors. There's no organizers. There's no ticket prices because there are no tickets. You just got to get your campsite from Rogers Campground or grab an RV site, or maybe you want a motel room. They got all three of those there. Forkfest.party. You can go there to learn more. It's an unofficial website. Links over to a Telegram chat room and also the ForkFest forums at forkfest.party, June 29th until July 5th in the summer of 2020 for what is going to be the fourth ForkFest. And I'm looking forward to it. Look forward to seeing you there. Free Talk Live will be broadcasting from the event. We go back to Bree in Pennsylvania. She's frustrated by being targeted by the government gang members there in her area in Pennsylvania. And it is frustrating, Bree. And they do pick on the same people over and over again. You see the same faces. If you go to court regularly, you'll see the same people getting picked up again and again. It's not like they're hurting anybody. Usually they're busting these people for nonviolent, victimless crimes where there's no victim at all.
Yeah, and it's just crazy because each time, so the first time they tried to throw a DUI at me, I won. Like I said last night, they wanted to give me a deal, and I said no, and then they realized, well, we don't have enough evidence to convict you anyway, so we're just going to drop it. And now this time it's going to be the same thing, except I have a better lawyer. Hopefully they're going to realize that they can't keep doing this. Well, it's going to get thrown back in their face again.
Do you need a better lawyer if you won the first time? Like it doesn't seem like the lawyer has any impact on that.
So I don't know how we won the first time. I mean, they really didn't have any evidence, but
well, that's how you won. You won because you weren't willing to take a plea. A lot of people will take a plea deal even when the state doesn't have any evidence because they're afraid and they don't know how the system works and they just want it to be over. So they take the plea deal and they don't go to trial. They don't get to look at the discovery. They don't get to see what the evidence, if any, is. You didn't do that. You didn't take a plea. So therefore, they were like, oh, crap, we're going to have to take this girl to trial. Shoot, did we actually get any evidence against her? No, we didn't. Drat. All right, we're going to have to drop the charges. Yeah. So maybe the same thing will happen this time.
They might have evidence against me now. They might want to use my prescriptions against me, but so now I know I need the lawyer, because if I had the lawyer last time, I maybe would have, not have had to surrender my license, and then I wouldn't have had that intox lock put in. Like, even
one thing's for sure, attorneys do know a lot more of the ins and outs of these, various different crimes, and so if you're not totally familiar,
that's the part that surprised me, because I listened to the call last night, and the fact that she won the case but still had to surrender the license and put I still found that bizarre.
Have an intox lock.
That doesn't seem right at all.
So that's why I want the lawyer this, because I don't want any hidden surprises. Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, you told us last night you got the Intoxilock or whatever because you'd refused the test, right?
But I thought you said she didn't refuse the test. You got the blood test, didn't you?
Hello.
Oh,
did we lose her?
I don't know.
I refused it this time.
Sorry, say again. We missed what you said there.
Hey, so I refused it the first time, but this time, on Friday, I didn't refuse it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that might, a lot of states are like that. That might be why.
Right, so she got a DUI or a Toxilock or whatever, Intoxilizer.
Because she refused
Because she refused it. And this goes back to what we were talking about earlier in the show.
Which is why I'm not going to get on the radio and say all 20 million people do this because it's different.
Bree, good luck. Thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. We go to Mortified Penguin. He is on our Discord server in the AMP-only call-in line room. Go ahead.
Hey, you guys have had some good takes with some of these callers, and I kind of want to call on some on a similar subject.
Sure.
What I wanted to call about is how the state, through various means, makes it hard to scratch by. And what I mean by that is that, the working poor and working people in general. And it's always goes to me, what about homeless people? Or what about you want the fry cooks to run the McDonald's? No, I'm saying working people have always, at whatever level of income they can come up with, whatever hustle, whatever ingenuity they can come up with, have always found ways to scratch by, to get by on their means. And the state is the main barrier that causes affordability crisis, as they talk about with everything. So there's like housing and healthcare. So with housing, there's so many different modular designs and containers and recycled materials, and all these zoning restrictions really put a damper on that. And
the new war on tiny homes.
Yeah, you can't build what you want. You can't build it where you want to build it. You can't do it without asking permission. And then there's all these hoops to jump through and fines to pay and fees to, line the bureaucrats' pockets with. And the average poor person cannot navigate this mess.
Yeah, it just costs more money. I mean, everything just costs. You have to. We're all funneled into these sanitized, corporate, regulated, overly technical, overly value-added services. So for healthcare, you have the idea of going to an MD to get a routine, prescription for a diagnosed illness, or diagnostic care. MRIs that through intellectual property protection or whatever, proprietary parts, they cost, and the cost to maintain them are 10 times or up to 20 times more than open source alternatives would be if that was allowable, in different levels of care. Because of course everybody basically has to get the Cadillac plan for everything, for a broken bone to any kind of diagnostics in the accounting system and and hospitals, basically where they pass on all capital projects and overhead costs, all the bureaucracy onto price, and then the government subsidies on top of that really reinforce our inability, because in the past we've seen working people.
So what are you getting at?
Well, working people have found ways to do these things in the past before government regulated these options out of existence.
So abolish all the regulations. Okay, we're on
exactly.
board.
And then, for example, healthcare, what's often provided to people and could be provided to communities and neighborhoods, and lodges is what was really common, by a doctor on retainer. Doctor gets paid by the people, not with the intermediary or middleman or whatever.
No insurance company. What do they call it? Mutual aid, I think.
How do you get back to that from where we are today, though, without, like the other caller said, just crash and burn the whole system?
Well, you have, that's the thing, that you can implement all kinds of radical socialist revolution and everything by the gun, or by force or by legislation, which is ultimately force and everything. But how do you free a market? How do you free markets from? That's really a lot more difficult.
Well, I would say that what you got to do, and thank you for the call, Penguin. I appreciate it. I would say the best solution is to end affiliation with the federal government. You'd have to secede from the United States, and then you'd have the freedom to actually say, okay, no more regulations. We're, whatever regulations we have here in New Hampshire on these healthcare matters, we're just going to strike them from the books, and then let the market fill in the gaps.
Even that takes some form of a government, because you got to go to the state government to petition them to secede from the federal government.
Yeah, I mean, until people are ready to
secede from both.
Yeah, I mean, until people are ready to abolish the idea of the state, then that's the only path out. That's the way I see it, at least. We're coming up here. Your calls, thoughts, welcome. You may join us. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. This is Free Talk Live.
Hi, I'm Dan Pilla. I started fighting the IRS over 40 years ago when they tried to seize my mother's house. I sued the IRS and won. I beat the IRS then, and I've been beating them ever since. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I've helped thousands of people deal with tax problems they thought might never be solved. I can help you too. If you owe taxes you can't pay, don't wait another day. There's no such thing as a hopeless tax case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com, danpilla.com.
If you owe money to the IRS, you need to hear this. The IRS is cracking down on those who owe back taxes. It starts with a devastating letter, and if you don't act immediately, you could find yourself having your wages garnished or have a lien placed on your property. But there's a solution. Tax 10,000 can help. Avoid enforced compliance, where these holds on your income and seizure of your home could become a nightmare that just won't end. Call 800-239-9957 now and speak to one of our experts. 800-239-9957 is the number to link you directly to a tax resolution specialist who will negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, all the forms will be handled for you. All you have to do is make the toll-free call. 800-239-9957. Find out if you qualify and possibly save yourself thousands of dollars, not to mention a lot of headaches. It could be the best call you've made today. That number again, 800-239-9957. The service does not provide tax settlement or legal services. We will refer you to a company that does provide such services. Often the IRS will not agree to any reduction in the amount owed. Not all taxpayers who owe more than $10,000 will qualify for a tax reduction program.
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Now, there is Reveal. Beverly Hills celebrity dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman took nearly a decade to develop Reveal from natural botanicals to return to a full-body head of hair. Reveal for men and women with a 30-day money-back guarantee at gcnlife.com or toll-free 844-443-6637. 844-443-6637. Reveal at gcnlife.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us here. In these remaining moments, we have enough time for you. If you want to jump on the lines, our number 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And also the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. And with you tonight, it's Ian.
Richie Rich.
And Melanie.
So Sean Ree in our Discord server is asking, why does Ian have a commercial running that says they eliminated Facebook? Well, I did eliminate Facebook. I don't promote Facebook anymore. And Mark decided he wanted to keep that thing going. It's not official as far as I'm concerned. The Free Talk Live show prep posts do not go to the Facebook page. It's just like some random page that posts things, essentially. So it really doesn't have anything to do with what we do on the air. So that's my answer.
Is he talking about the Free Talk Live page or the amplifier?
The Free Talk Live. Sorry to be unclear about that yet, but the Free Talk Live page. Because we have a commercial that runs on the air that says, we've eliminated Facebook and we're focusing on Mastodon and Twitter and you know these other alternatives. And so, that's there's your answer. So we go on to Jeremy. He's in Connecticut watching us on YouTube. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
How you guys doing?
What's on your mind?
Hey, so listen, my neighbor, he is the big thing. He never lets me get the Krabby Patties on time. He always plays clarinet too loud.
Is this Plankton?
And I just be like, yeah, Squidward. And he's like, I'm going to smite you. I'm going to smite you.
Can't really understand what you're saying. Your neighbor does what to you?
He's saying he's going to smite me. And
He's going to smite
afraid
you.
of him smite. Yes. He's made numerous threats to smite me.
Okay. And what are you going to do about it?
I mean, that's why I'm calling you guys for advice. I live in a state without a stand your ground law. So I can't just go in and end that motherfucker.
Oh, you can't say that on the radio.
So
He didn't really get the full word out, but I'm just go ahead and dump him anyway.
That's fine.
Yeah, so even in states with stand your ground law, it's a stand your ground law, not a
go kill your neighbor law.
Go get more ground law. You can only defend the ground you already have. In no state could you just walk into somebody's house and waste them because you feel like it.
Unless you're
a cop.
Yeah, if you're being attacked, you can stand your ground, right? Like if
you can
somebody's...
stand. It's a stand your ground law. It's not a colonialism law.
It's not if someone says something you don't like, you get to go blast them.
Yeah.
So, all right, Melanie, let's get back into this advice, I guess, but not advice, not legal advice, but suggestions.
This is
that you
not
have.
legal advice.
These are ideas.
Put the comma where you feel like it should go.
These are ideas about ending, not ending the draft, but avoiding it.
Kind of, and I can't, there's nothing I can give you that's like, oh, push this button and you won't be drafted. We don't have that.
Okay.
So there are a couple of things that people are under the impression that they can do to avoid the draft. And I don't know, of varying levels of seriousness, people have told me this. Being injured does not make you immune to the draft.
So don't shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah. Being mentally ill does not make you immune to the draft unless you are currently, what do you call it? In a
crazy ward?
In an institution.
Okay.
Being a felon or on drugs does not make you immune to the draft. I think the confusion is some of these things are things that will make you ineligible to sign up for the military.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, it is theoretically possible. You could go try to sign up for the military, they tell you no, and then turn around and draft you. That is the way the law is written.
Wow.
I didn't write it. So
what can you do?
So the only things that actually... And the other thing is this, it's a statute, so subject to change it whenever they feel like it. They could amend the statute and then enact a draft, but as of right now, there's rules about being a current military member and a current reserve member, and I didn't really go into those because I figure if you're in the military already, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Surviving... it's kind of complex, but it's like basically the last surviving male.
Mhm.
So basically,
like that 4A caller from
that caller earlier.
Yeah, the point seems to be they'll kill you, but they don't want to kill off your bloodline.
Uh-huh.
So if you're the last son or the last brother, and there's some cases on that I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't want to be like, well, how you avoid a draft is you kill your
Right.
Assassinate
that's
your
probably not a
siblings.
good plan.
But if you're already in that, if
If you're the only child or
then
whatever.
maybe look into that if that sounds like it applies to you.
Okay.
Being a
What about just normal people?
Yeah. Being a minister of a religion, and you have to be, I guess, a real minister. There are some Jehovah's Witnesses who are like, all Jehovah's Witnesses are ministers.
Mm-hmm.
We just knock on all the doors.
Sure.
And the Supreme Court was like, no.
So sign up
man.
for the Church of the Subgenius.
You have
Get
to
your
be-
minister status there.
In my opinion, it would help if you were a major U.S. religion.
Mm-hmm.
But it can't be a case of, oh, we're all ministers. We all ministers to each other and everybody. And we just, if somebody's willing to listen, like, you have to be like a separated group of ministers within your religion.
How does that work for Quakers?
It wouldn't.
Quakers,
Well,
I almost
there
want
are
to say wouldn't have this problem because they're probably going to be conscientious objectors anyway.
Okay.
But I don't know what their structure
But
is.
again, the
so I can't-
conscientious objector is only an objection to fighting. It doesn't get you out of a box packing role or
Potato
shipping the
peeler.
food or whatever.
I think that in practice it would.
Okay, I've never looked that deeply into it. It was always my understanding of, well, if you're a conscientious objector, they'll still find a job for
Yeah.
you.
So, and the last one is, the second to last one is being a student.
Mhm.
Contrary to popular belief, that gets you out of if you were enrolled in your last year of college, or it gets you out of the current semester. So if you're just in college generally, then you can't say, oh, I got 3 years left. The war will be over by then. It doesn't work that way. They can still pull you at the end of the semester. I almost suspect that all the talk about the draft is almost more of a way to, I'm paranoid like that, encourage people to go to college because that's dropping off than it is to actually have the draft. But I don't know that.
Could be. Yeah, I don't either. I gotta say, none of those options sound particularly good. They're
Right.
just
Yeah,
I mean-
and so there is no like click here and have a free peaceful world option.
Well, you could always try to leave, right? There are some like Canada. Wasn't Canada known
Canada
for?
announced that they weren't going to let us do that again.
I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
I don't know what.
But are
they
there other
actually-
countries? Are there other countries in the world that will protect you
from the
like,
U.S.?
as an
That
asylum?
would be that's a tall order.
As an asylum
It
claim?
would have to
though.
be someone who's able to do it first of all.
Well, I mean, if you can get out, then you're able
so
to do
if you
it.
can flee the country,
That's
if you're
an option.
able to do that, I don't know what countries will actually extradite you.
My viewpoint would be just to tell them to go pound sand and take the prison.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would just do the prison time.
Yep.
Yeah, but and so some of the things about the conscientious objector, it's a little bit more complicated than it might sound. You have to be opposed to all war.
Done.
So
Sold.
That's me.
if you are that includes
The war on
militias,
drugs. Oh.
that
Yeah.
includes how do you pronounce it, boogaloos or whatever. That
Boogaloos?
includes. So if they could go on your Facebook page and say, well, you said you're opposed to war, but
bought a
here's
t-shirt
these
from the ANCAP
18
Boogaloo Club."
posts from you talking about what wars we should be in, just not this one, and your militia group and all that. It still does allow for self-defense, but you have to be opposed to all war. You also...
The war on poverty.
It also...
I am opposed to all war, but either way, I still don't want to be a conscientious objector because I don't want to go pack boxes for the military.
Right.
I don't want
so
to do whatever job they want to give me.
that will
Not
get you
interested.
out of the military. They say that they would then put you in some sort of national
Right.
service.
Some
I
other
don't
make
know.
work government job.
Could you monkey wrench that job from the inside?
Possibly.
Until they kick you out for being...
Yeah, that's another idea. That's an idea. That might be a little better than prison, right?
I don't know.
Okay, that's I like
Yeah,
what
so
you're thinking
I
there.
don't know how likely that actually is. Like, how
Can you do your job so bad
So
and still
bad.
get a paycheck?
how useful is that actually to them?
Not very. That's why they should kick
Well,
you
even
out
if
at
you
that
don't
point.
mess it up, it's like, okay, we're gonna conscript you to do what?
Where's all the
Non-military
ammo that
job?
Ian was supposed to put on the helicopter?
I just slept in every day, not getting up, not going where you want me to go. What are you going to do about it? Put me in jail? I've been there before. No big deal. Hey, we're out of time here tonight, but if you don't, or you didn't get in tonight, well, we can always get you on tomorrow because we're here every single day from 7 to 10 at night Eastern Time. You can join us. And, of course, you can always join us online at freetalklive.com. Don't forget about Richie's show, The Anarchist Experience.
AnarchistExperience.com.
It's once a week podcast. You can go and download that at your leisure and check him out there. Meanwhile, you can join us online at freetalklive.com. Don't forget to hop on our Discord server where the conversation continues around the clock over at discord.lrn.fm. And we'll see you tomorrow. It's Free Talk Live.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
Because I've always been high energy, just going. And I turned 40 last November, and I was tired all the time. Now, taking the Balance of Nature, I just feel good. I have energy when I get home to still wrestle with my kids and do the honeydews at home. It's nice. I can tell that it just restored me to feeling normal, which is great.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we'll take off an additional $25 on your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better, too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20 mymagicmud.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,562, silver at $18.12, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,132. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, while corporate media in the United States has been fixated on events in Iran, specifically the recent admission from Iran that Ukraine International Airlines Flight 752 was accidentally shot down by its military, other equally, if not more important news, has largely been ignored or glossed over during the growing tit-for-tat conflict between the two countries. According to Tolo News, a drone strike targeting a top commander in the Taliban killed him along with around 60 civilians in Afghanistan. Locals have called the attack that involved 4 armed drones a mistake. despite officials from Afghanistan's Ministry of Defense reporting that the strike was coordinated between U.S. forces and the Defense Ministry. The Pentagon's confirmation of the attack was published in the U.S. military publication Stars and Stripes. In an article titled "Airstrike in Western Afghanistan Kills Leader of Taliban Splinter Group, May Have Killed Civilians." Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. A Walmart supercenter in Salem, New Hampshire has been the first store to test a new kind of technology that will use robots to collect grocery items for online order fulfillment. Activist Post reports that Walmart is one of the largest companies in the world by revenue, with at least 2.3 million employees in the U.S., and has seen rapid increases in labor costs that are forcing unwanted margin compression. The solution offered by C-suite executives has been a pilot program of automating a warehouse in Salem with the goal of deploying robots to eliminate employees and save costs. The new robot is called AlphaBot, and it's 10 times faster than a human worker. That would increase productivity in the warehouse, driving down the need for new hires during peak holiday periods when orders increase. AlphaBot operates inside a 20,000 square foot warehouse that retrieves refrigerated and frozen items ordered for online grocery. A court in Guatemala City released indigenous journalist and activist Francisco Lucas Pedro on January 3rd, after he spent 13 days in detention since his arrest. According to the police, he is accused of terrorism and arson, but human rights groups say the arrest was illegal. Activist Post reports that back in 2012, a criminal court had issued an arrest warrant against Lucas, based on a complaint made by World Bank founder Esoner Hydraulia Energia. This is the Spanish firm behind Hidro Santa Cruz, the company that wanted to build a controversial water dam on the Quambalam River, considered sacred. Lucas was an active participant in the civic movement against the dam, whose construction the company eventually canceled following 8 years of protests, court battles, and international pressure. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
The Shire Free Church offers a sanctuary to those seeking an escape from state churches.
The Shire Free Church is an interfaith, diverse group of people that may not share identical theological beliefs. As a member in or minister of the Shire Free Church, you are a sovereign individual and may be the faith of your choice.
We don't claim to have all of the answers.
We are open to all peaceful people.
We want to learn from each other.
What unifies the Shire Free Church and its diverse members is peace,
love, and liberty. There are many paths to God, one for every individual.
The Shire Free Church does not define a specific path beyond those parameters that must be your foundation.
Peace as your way,
love as your guide,
and liberty as your light.
Learn more at church.shiresociety.com.
That's church.shiresociety.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves they're so